If you've ever been worried that Joel was just going to go on about the Michigan football team and then cut out most, if not all, of the live trading show, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Love you, Joel. Go Blue. We're back for another episode of Live Trading. It's Friday. Happy Friday. Almost at Mice Down, Drinks Up time. We got one more day to go. We got a PCI print that was also a nothing burger. So the big catalyst that we talked about today really didn't do much. Let's break it down.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Hello and happy Friday, traders and BZ crew. It's great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here. Ken, Jonathan, Shaka, the early morning crew, early bird gets the worm. Let's go ahead and welcome on 13. 13, how you doing?
I'm fine. And you know what? I nothing to do with that opener. So don't blow me up there, Joel.
He's not going to. He's not. It was actually kind of funny because I'm like waiting for the timing and AB asks him a question about Michigan, and then Joel just starts rolling and then tells himself this could be an hour-long show. And I was like, okay, but we ended it and we're here. So that was actually pretty sweet. And like I said, go Blue. Can you hear my birds in the background, chat? Let me know. If so, I can close. If so, I can close the door. I actually have Cleo's brothers, so they're talking to each other. So it's 2x the bird chatter. But they're in a different room, so I've got some more things that I can do. You let me know if you can hear that and if it's distracting.
It just sounds like you're trading a little bit outside today.
That's never a bad thing, honestly, except I guess in Chicago here, it was pouring this morning. It's supposed to lighten up and be a gorgeous Friday. We'll see when we get that. Okay, enough of the weather. Let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to start by taking a look here at the SPY. I got to be honest, 13. We thought this week might be have some big catalysts and maybe some big movement. And I'll be honest, it's really kind of been none of that. The NVIDIA earnings was a nothing burger. The PCE print that we just got was a nothing burger. Now, granted, we'll see what happens as the day goes along here and how the rest of this pans out. But so far, we're just kind of sideways trading in this range here on SPY. I feel like we have the same numbers and the same levels that we've been looking at. We're looking, let me go back here. We're looking at the trend line on the downside and the all-time highs on the upside. And really, we're not even testing these. We're just kind of staying in this range. Yeah. 13, what do you think about the market here? And if you have a thought on the PCE print, I'd love to hear that as well.
Well, Powell had said that they weren't going to wait for 2% inflation before they started cutting. So I'm just kind of wondering if this is low enough for him. I think that a lot of us are already thinking that September there will be some rate cuts. So I don't think we need to really, dive into that too much. But I agree. This week has been pretty disappointing in terms of what was anticipated, especially with the NVIDIA earnings. Ended up being just as exciting as the end of season 2 of House of Dragon. So I don't know what to make of that, but I still think that we're not going to, as we enter this seasonality that tends to be negative in the month of September. I think once Labor Day is over, we'll start to see some of this consolidation that we've been in. Maybe it will either break out or break down out of it. So I don't think we're going to be in this consolidation for too long. September is going to be the month where I think the market ends up choosing the direction.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We'll see what we get next week. We'll see when things kind of break out of this. But I agree, we're not just going to stay in this for long. So we'll see. And that's actually a really good reminder. Remember, there's no trading on Monday. It is going to be Labor Day. So you got a 3-day weekend. Don't show up here on Monday expecting us to be here because we're going to disappoint you. And it's not really our fault. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into the movers. Then we'll go ahead and start taking tickers from the chat and setting up some trades here. Let me go ahead and get my movers tool out here.
I got a shout out to Shaka real quick, who
start with the shout outs. Let's do it.
Well, he, it's something we've been talking about, and he had pointed out last night that Lunar had the one of the contracts that we've been waiting for. They were awarded that, and he posted that. And I unfortunately saw it a little bit too late, but I appreciate that. So I just wanted to say thank you for pointing that out, because it didn't show up on my radar until I saw your post.
Okay. There you go. We'll actually start with Lunar since you're going to give Shaka props there. Vaca obviously approves as well. We'll go ahead and start with Lunar, as that is one of our gappers here today. Just kind of going on with that news there, Intuitive Machine shares are trading higher after the company was awarded a $116.9 million NASA contract to deliver 6 science and technology payloads to the moon. This, as you said yesterday, popped in the after hours. We actually did go higher, and so far in the pre-market, this formation, just to my eye here, kind of looks like we're going to try and go higher here, right? It's curling up. The volumes looked pretty good. Let's see if we can get over this 601, 610, 629. Those 3 things right there. We'll see if we can get over those here in Lunar. I expect there to be trades in this. Did you have anything or any type of plan that you wanted to cover here in Lunar?
I mean, no, this is the big piece of the news we've been waiting for. I'm not sure if they're going to receive others. I think they might, because I did say that they have until the end of next month for NASA to get out all those contracts that they have. So I think there might be some more news coming, but I don't want to lock that in. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to do some more research. But this is one of the contracts that we were waiting for. Between the time that I mentioned it till the end of next month. So here we are. But as far as upside goes, if it can get over 620, then we should be able to begin testing the previous levels that we've had from past trading, like when it started going off in February. So we'll have to wait and see if we get there. Right now, it's still under 6 in the pre-market, but should be on deck for providing some good trades today.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when the market opens here. This might blast off. Maybe this trade will take us to the moon.
Next one about it there. Sorry, just saying, yes, big September contract, 542 million. Yes, that's actually the one I was waiting for them to announce, but this is different. This is for landing on the moon. I'm looking for one that has to do with near-Earth communications. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. But thank you, thinking about it, for pointing that out.
Boom. All right. Good morning, Robert. Good to see you here. Hopefully you're feeling well here today. Next ticker on the list here is going to be Bren Miller Energy, and this is ticker BNRG, Bravo November Romeo Golf. Catalyst here, Bren Miller shares are trading higher after the company reported year-over-year increase in H1 EPS results. Also, the company announced a projected pipeline valued up to $500 million. You can see here 160 is the clear spot for me. We're right at the VWAP, so we're holding that bottom end of the pre-market after our range here, 126. But this 160 area, if we're able to pop that on volume, this thing could run. This thing could really get going here. So Bren Miller, this is the top gainer of the day. It's up 129%. I'll try not to buy anything that's up this much. You guys really attacked me yesterday, so we'll try and avoid that here today. But Bren Miller, like I said, if this does break out 160, especially on really, really good volume, you could see this thing move. This could be one of those that goes further. We'll wait that out, though. No position here early. I got patience on this. Okay, next one here is going to be TOVX, and this is actually one that we talked about yesterday. I can't remember who was mentioning this. Maybe it was Wiss and then a group of other people, but a number of you folks were mentioning this right out of the open. We did get kind of a later date trade there as this moved through VWAP. It actually backtested VWAP and then pushed away from it as well. So there was a potential scalp opportunity yesterday. This morning, however, though, we're really breaking out. We really broke out through 5, which is where the pops really kind of tested on this name before. We've gone much further than that up here at about 640. We've actually back tested the VWAP here and gone higher. So the volume looks really good here on TOVX. And I didn't see, nothing.
It's relative volume.
This just looks like relative volume, right? Like a continuation here from yesterday. 13, what do you think about this one here?
Yeah, if you look at the daily chart, you see that yesterday we had a huge amount of volume. So today being, the following day, and we're seeing a difference in the previous day from when we got that volume, it's going to be a relative volume play with this. Now, they do have a couple of quarters of cash, so it doesn't seem like they need to do any offerings as of now. They did do this is actually a recent reverse split. They did a 1 for 25 on Monday, the 26th. And so now they are under 1 million shares in the float at 998 and 0.44 thousand. So, and yes, Ken, I have
4.5
million for the BNRG float. But as far as the TOVX goes, that's all I've got. Just moving on relative volume, upside targets. At the most, I'd say maybe we get it to 8, but I'm not sure what happens once we get up there.
Okay, Comp looks like he might be looking to short TOVX here. Let us know. Let us know how you're going to trade that. Let us know how you're going to trade that. Okay, we already talked about Lunar. Looks like ATPC just started popping as we were talking. This wasn't on my list here. I guess we'll check it out live here. A Gap ATP Corporation addresses recent corporate exercise and strategic developments. This was a recent reverse split. Is that right? Let's see. Splits. Yep, that was 8:30. So today, so 1 for 20 reverse stock split. We're getting a PR on the back of that here. Haven't gone through this PR yet. What's going on with my feed here? Come on. There we go. Haven't gone through the PR yet. It's pleased to announce a series of significant and reflecting. So I'm not going to read this here live in front of you, but this moving on a reverse split, it's definitely worth checking out that PR and see if there's anything about maybe spinning off segments or selling the company in general. But that's what's going on here. It looks like this just started popping up about 37%.
It had a huge float too. It was over $1 billion. And
yeah.
So now it's down to just under 60 million. So
it's still got a big float despite
still
that.
got a big float,
Yeah.
but it was absolutely massive before. And that's probably because, let's take a look and confirm my suspicions. It's not bringing it up here. I might have to refresh.
Yeah, what are you looking for?
Secondary offerings to see how many offerings they had, because that'll dilute the stock and pull it down.
I don't have any. I don't have any secondary offerings on the calendar there anyway. So,
but anyway, the big thing there was that to me that they did that reverse split, because man, that was going to be hard to move around. Now they do have a pretty interesting short interest here. I guess that's not reflected yet after the split.
Right.
So never mind on that. And their balance sheet, let's see here.
This is the interesting part. They do have cash on the balance sheet. They really don't burn much per quarter. So I'm not sure that they're going to necessarily need money right away. Just kind of looking at that. But okay. ATPC looks like we got another one here. Looks like this is actually testing VWAP at the moment. Okay, next here on the list, going to be EBS. This is Emergent Biosolutions. This one we've traded a bunch here in the show. Should be familiar with this one and how it trades. Emergent Biosolutions shares are trading higher after the company announced that the FDA approved the supplemental biologics license application for the expansion of indication for ACAM 2000 to include prevention of Mpox disease in individuals determined to be at high risk for Mpox infection. So getting an Mpox PR here today. We did pop almost as high as 13. We've really kind of bled these gains back. We're under the VWAP. One of the things that I'd like to see here is it does seem like the whole Mpox theme really seems to be losing steam. So we want to make sure that these things are decent moves here to the upside. We'll see where EBS goes. I'm going to let this one settle out of the open here. I got a suspicion that we trade up to the VWAP and kind of get rejected there. So maybe a curl back to the VWAP for a potential alongside trade here. But until I see something else, I'm really not feeling good about buying a breakout of this VWAP. You got anything here on EBS 13?
The float is 42.8 million shares, so a little heavier than what we're used to trading as far as movers go. Looking at the daily chart, yeah, this is something we have definitely traded. I think we were trading this starting back in April. And it has just been kind of moving up pretty nicely all through April to the end of July. Came back in, had another pop in the middle of August, and now we're testing that high that we made in on August 19th. So that would be one level in particular that I'd be looking forward to either take out or get up to again. And if we get past that, then it would be 1510. But that's about as all I got for levels. This thing has been just crazy for a good portion of the year.
Okay. Let's keep moving on here. Let's actually minimize a couple of these windows here. Next is going to be Marvell. They reported earnings here. We watched this on Happy Hour yesterday. This traded up in the after hour session. It looks like we're taking another leg up here today on Marvell. So Grats to, we're up 11, almost 12% here. Grats to anyone that had this for earnings. If you did, as far as a trade here, we'll see how this kind of acts. Let me take a look at the daily chart here and see where we're at. 78. So yeah, we're really kind of trying to break out of this formation here. Looks pretty good. I'm not necessarily looking to maybe take this one out of the gate. We are at a resistance level, so I wouldn't be shocked if this pulled back. But if this maintains some strength, maybe we can kind of break out of the 78, 79 area here on Marvell. Did you have anything on Marvell 13?
Nope. Just
Okay.
a very large float, 733 million shares.
Yeah. Next here is going to be NEO. This is gapping up. What was the news here? Tesla, amid Tesla, Waymo, and BYD battle for robotaxi supremacy, employment worry rises in China. I'm not really sure why this is up 6% here. But NEO trading up here. I'm going to stay away from this one, but this is trading up here. Good morning, Judge. It's great to see you. Do you like your fantasy team, Judge? And then Intel. Intel also trading up here. This one's kind of interesting. I know a lot of people ask about Intel. Hey, when's the buy and all of that stuff? Intel shares trading higher following a report suggesting the company is weighing options to include splitting its products design and manufacturing businesses. Special shout out here to Chris Beasley from our chat, who has been talking about this for several days, and it looks like he's going to be correct. One of the things that I had said is look for a CEO change. We're not seeing that. Chris had suggested some other things to look for, including spinoffs of different business segments. Looks like that's the route they're going here. So Intel, I guess really the only question that I have for you, 13, and then the rest of the group here, is the bottom for Intel in?
Well,
it's tough. It's simple but tough at the same time.
Right, because if we're expecting weakness in the semiconductor sector and having NVIDIA, pretty much take it down on its own, I would probably say maybe not. Maybe there could be some more weakness in here, or maybe there's an inverse play with that. But here's the thing: Intel's been kind of hanging out at this consolidation level for quite some time now, ever since, well, basically all month. So I'd like for it to choose a direction. Now, once we do start choosing that direction, I probably would be a little bit more convicted in with the direction it's going. Mm-hmm. Now, if we start moving up to let's say $22 and get over that, there's a big gap to fill. Otherwise, if we start heading lower and we lose 19, that's gosh, we're going back over a decade of lows. So.
Yeah, the wild stuff here. First of all, Tom, sorry about your computer crashing. Mentioning the mobile phone, to be honest, I don't talk much about Pro on mobile because I'm just so accustomed to a desktop layout. But Tom's bringing up a really interesting point here that I want to shout out. Please remember, Benzinga Pro will detect if you're on a mobile device and then rearrange your experience so that it's easier to do on mobile. So movers, squawk, news, chat, all of those things can be done pretty easily from the phone. Tom, I hope you have a great day here despite some of the early tech issues. Getting back to Intel here real quick, Naveal saying Intel is a horrible company, in my opinion. Watch out. Goes on to say, Shaka said Intel goes to 13, then I buy. So here's our daily chart on Intel. We actually did this as an exercise in happy hour. We looked at some longer term charts and trend lines, and we came up with 3 potential buy zones for Intel, all 3 of them under where we're currently trading at. 1663, let's call that 16 and a half. 1316, let's call that 13. That was Shaka's target. And then 1211, let's call that 12. That came off of a long-term monthly channel, I believe, from one of our long-term investors. I'm curious to know what you folks think on Intel 13. Your really good point there about the gap. We'll see if that actually traps any bulls, if we maybe move into that gap zone and lure people in and flush them out on the back end. I don't know, but I'd be curious to know how you folks are trading Intel. I was saying in pre-market prep earlier when they were talking about this, it really comes down to the Lunar Lake chip, I think. If that chip is good and PC sales tick up and people are using Intel processors, this stock can really turn around. If they have problems with that, or if they keep getting the break speed off of them by AMD, look out. look out, and I don't know how long it's going to take for it to recover. So Glenn D giving you a downside target here. Glenn, your targets have been juicy. You've been very specific, and we appreciate that type of action. Glenn saying 1354, your downside target here on Intel. Carmen saying she's not buying Intel until it's under $1. So there you go. Shaka saying Intel to penny stocks. Okay, so you guys really don't have a whole lot of confidence in Intel, and I don't blame you. To be quite honest with you, don't blame you at all. Okay, go ahead, 13. Sorry.
It's important to look at. I'm kind of looking at Intel as the next Boeing, because with the CHIPS Act, this is a very important company to the future of American chip fabrication. So I think that because of the government contracts they ultimately may end up getting, that the U.S. government may be keeping this company afloat for some time. Just something to consider. I agree with everybody that there is better price targets lower, but it's just something to think about, because they are getting that government money, and that does tend to resonate really well with investors.
Yep, Crassy here. This has been my thesis for Intel, not buying Intel until it's under new management. Crassy, I like that. Christopher bringing up an interesting point, though. Too important to fail? Yeah, probably. So that's why I'm a little skeptical of that $1 price target. But anything can happen. Anything can happen. I've been wrong before, and I'm going to be wrong again.
Nothing about it. Not in a good way. Just in the way that it's too big to fail, or it's not going to be allowed to fail, but because the government deems it so.
So that's okay. Okay. Are there any other stocks that you folks want to take a look at? Let's see. We got 7 minutes till we start here. Let me just kind of take a look at the agenda here, and I'll try and prepare you folks. I don't think we have any interviews to do here today. We are going to have Anne-Marie's show after live trading here today. So it looks like we got some pretty smooth sailing here on a Friday. What charts do you folks? Oh, Ulta. That's right. Shaka, I think you had mentioned that earlier, and it slipped my mind. I apologize. We can absolutely take a look at Ulta. Ulta, of course, reported earnings last night. They traded down here. The interesting thing here, or one of the things to watch here, is going to be that aftermarket low. Had that at about 334. Let's call it 334. If this stock rolls over and breaks that, I think you're going to see more downside here. It'll be really interesting to see if we can get above that 345 level. Earnings here, not great on Ulta. Didn't play this one myself. As you can see, down about 7.5% here. 13, you got any thoughts here on Ulta on whether or not you're going to trade this? Let's see if I actually set up a channel trade for this one.
I'd like to see what Warren Buffett's response is, whether or not they're going to add more or whatever the case is. I think when they did pick some up, it was already kind of had bottoming in the earlier part of August, but I don't know for sure. Looking at it right now, though, being down to 340, we're actually in the pre-market filling a gap to the downside, and that gap fills at 332.92. So we're not too far away. I could see that going all the way down there, and then potentially turning around and trying to claw its way back. I'm personally not interested in trading this one, but I just am I'm more interested in seeing what Buffett has to say about his recent investment.
Okay, there you go on Ulta. I did on the Trade the Pool platform that we're going to be switching over to here. I did mark off the top and the bottom of this channel. So we'll see if we get that set up. If it breaks out of this channel, that's what's going on here with Ulta. All right, let me go back here. Ulta, and you guys were screaming Ulta.
We get some upside movement from Luna right now, coming up to $6, where there's a wall of sell orders.
Okay, CMG, Intel, Dell, please. We can take a look at Dell. They also reported earnings last night. You can see Dell here. We actually traded up towards 120. Couldn't quite get through that. At this point, though, I want to see us get through 118 before that 120 test takes place. A number was pretty good here on Dell. If we take a look at the daily chart, we're actually right below that 50-day moving average. For a potential swing here, I'd like for it to really kind of close above that. It's really done a good job staying above its 200-day moving average. And now with this earnings print out of the way, I could see how this would be a kind of a desirable swing trade if this continues here. We'll have to see what tech does and what the rest of the market does here. Did you have anything on Dell?
Yeah, so that 50-day SMA is going to be, well, currently it's at 120.25 cents, but 120 does look like a very interesting level. So if we get up there and we start to see resistance, maybe that might be the short-term top, but I want to see this retake this 50-day SMA, because if it does not and it starts to lose the 200 again, it's going to death cross, and that's going to imply that we head lower, which could still be the case. But I think Dell and IBM are going to end up being some pretty good investments at going forward, just because they're really into their space, especially IBM with AI. So I think Dell could end up doing really well. But first things first, I want to see that recapture the 50-day SMA above 120.
Okay, good stuff there. MongoDB also getting mentioned here by the chat. Another earnings stock. MongoDB shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected. Q2 financial results and issued strong guidance. We actually did pop above that 100-day moving average. We'll see if we can actually stay above that. We actually also almost filled this gap up to 309. So a little bit of juice left there on MDB. You think it's possible we fill that gap here? We're already up 17% here in the pre-market.
Let's see. Well, the nice thing is that we've broken out of that consolidation, so it seems like that could end up happening. Where's this gap fill exactly?
And unfortunately, Comp SR X1 has said Mongo number 5. So now there's a high probability that myself and a lot of other people have Mambo number 5 stuck in their head, and that's not good for a Friday morning. Thanks a lot, Comp. Appreciate you a lot.
Looks like 300 is going to be the number to test today if they can get back above 290, but because there's that 500-day SMA right in the way there. Now here's the interesting thing. Nope, never mind. That's already been handled. So yeah, 500-day SMA, that would be the big moving average. I'd want to see it get over and finish filling that gap fill.
Okay, our chat doesn't let us down. I'm sorry for laughing here, but we had a couple of people continue to sing Mambo number 5 in the chat. All right. Anything else that you guys want to take a look at? MU, please, gentlemen. Look, when you're gonna talk that nicely over the internet, yeah, we're gonna take a look at that stock for sure. MU up here a little bit to 97 here in the pre-market. The thing with MU recently, let's call it maybe the past month or so here, has been what does it do around its 200-day? Kind of had a fake out here the last time we moved above this, really kind of just rolled over and then sank right through it. It did provide some support on the way back down, but the very next day, this thing broke beneath it. I am encouraged on Micron to see higher lows and see this uptrend. If this gets broken, I probably take this off my screen here for a little bit. I'm not sure on tech. I really do think the market's going to pull back, but I got to have a list of stocks ready. If you can't beat them, join them. And we've talked about being wrong and staying wrong and all of that stuff. And having a short thesis has really kind of been painful. So we'll see here on Micron. This is what I'd be looking at, by the way, especially.
I like Micron. I've owned it before. I think it's a great company, and I'd like to own it again. Right now, to me, though, it does look too bearish, and I think there might be some lower prints in the future. First level I'd be looking for is 80. And the reason for that is that it's trading underneath all 3 of the lagging moving averages that I use, the 20, the 50, and the 200. So until it can start recapturing some of those, I'm still thinking that we are going to be heading down.
Okay, we're open.
Oh, there we are.
We're open. You know what that means, folks. We are going to use Trade the Pool here for trades. The stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you need help getting above the 25K day trading threshold or more dry powder to execute your strategy on a daily basis, check them out. Great guys. Give us plays. Great prop firm. Okay. What are we seeing here?
Watching Lunar. I'm just letting it do its thing.
Ulta broke out of the top end of its channel here on Ulta. Let's see. It's coming back in a little bit. I might let this shake out instead of just attacking something here right out of the open, but I got a couple of things I'm ready for here. Here is Lunar right at the VWAP.
Yep, and that's it. Let's see if that can give us another trade setup.
Lucy from yesterday. We'll see if that gets rolling here. Volume is really low. Nothing here yet. How about Tovex?
Yep, that popped to 661. Yep. So just kind of waiting to see what this market ends up doing, because we're flip-flopping around. Okay, there goes TOBX a little bit higher now. EBS, that's coming down to the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. I think that might be where it finds some support. It's there now. Let's see what happens. Does it hold or does it fall through?
LESL, this is Leslie's, right? This ripping out of the gate here. Didn't see any entry trigger there, Wisp, but that is moving here. Dollar General, by the way, this thing got absolutely hammered yesterday. Looks like it's trying to bounce from this level. One of the things that we talked about on Happy Hour before trying to trade Dollar Generals, we kind of wanted to see a multi-day consolidation at this level. So day trades aside, we'll see where this thing closes. Get in there, 13. I'm sorry.
LDSL is moving up because there were a couple of insider buys yesterday.
There we go. It's on the scanner as well. Relative volume scanner there.
Yeah. So
how's BNRG doing here? BNRG doing nothing out of the gate. See if this finds some support down there at 128. What it does if it crosses VWAP. BNRG kind of a disappointment out of the gate here. Ulta still trying to break out of that. Doesn't have the juice yet. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's it as well. Thinking about it, just kind of shaking everybody out that was in this consolidation, and then turns around. So we'll see what we get that.
Hags is trying to go here.
TOVX up to 699 and higher.
Dell sinking here. You said GOVX 13?
TOVX.
TOVX. I'm sorry.
No worries.
That is that. I'll tell you what. That took out that pre-market high. This volume sticks looks good. We're rolling here on TOVX.
Looks like 750 could be a point of resistance for that one.
Looks like it's stopping there. Chewy is flying. Chewy is up fractionally.
All right. Looks like Lunar's trying to recover. TVX, that's coming back in. EBS, that's still getting support from the 200, even though it went slightly lower.
B-Bio at its VWAP here. What happened on B-Bio yesterday? Was this pretty high in reaction to detailed data from Helios B phase 3 study of one of its drugs? Pharma has therapy currently under FDA priority review. Okay, so it looks like this is in response to another company's data. They have some own data that they're waiting for a action on in November. So B-Bio might actually have a catalyst in front of it. Interesting pop here this morning.
Chewy, yeah, that's up about 50, 60 cents. Slow moving, it looks like, though.
Yeah, definitely. I would be interested in this, especially if we get over this high, then that $30 and change high that we put in after earnings is on deck here on Chewy.
Looks like BNRG is trying to recover, as is Lunar. So the ones that dropped at the open are coming back up, and it looks like the ones that are popped at the open are coming back in, like TOVX.
Lunar right here at its VWAP. You think we go through this, guys? What do we think here on Lunar? There, it's through the VWAP. I'm going to take one here, take a little starter. We'll see if we keep pushing.
Yeah, Shaka, if it can, close, start, closing back above its VWAP, then that might imply some more upside. But I get what you're saying. These wicks that we get at the pre-market and at the open don't look the greatest, but they don't seem to be too bad either.
TCBP, this was a recent reverse split. This popped into a halt. Good mention there, Market Sniper. AISP, Glenn's favorite stock in the market. Airship is flying.
See what you did there.
Let's go. Jay mentioning GameStop. I had to rub my eyes and double take it to make sure I wasn't crazy here. Jay Rice, GameStop, don't own it, but getting into a new space. And there was a big call buyer yesterday. Interesting there on GameStop. What's the new space that they're getting into?
No idea.
A firm getting a mention here. I'm almost worried to bring that up. A firm continuing to push higher here after that 30-something% day yesterday. Man, a firm. Man, oh man.
So GameStop's going to go after all the old people that are looking for vintage video games. That's what it sounds like to me. Good luck.
When in doubt, go for the old people. I don't know what to say about that, 13, honestly.
What's going on with Archer? Let's see here if they have any news. Don't see anything today. Remember this is gonna take some time for this company to get that whole flying vehicle network set up. But this one and Joby, they're looking pretty good.
13, one of our chat members is trying to start a rumor here, so we're going to need you to either confirm or squash that. Were you ever a GameStop manager at any point in your previous life?
No, it was not.
All right, Shaka, your rumor has been quashed, bro. I'm sorry about that.
I'm just a very, very old gamer.
As I like to say, a kid that refuses to grow up.
So BNRG is now halted to the upside. ASI airship that got as high as 307, still above VWAP.
Okay, Lunar fell from its VWAP here. If it holds this bottom, we'll try adding. It brought some size in 578, so we'll see if we can get back above that here on Lunar. That's why we take a starter. We're going to work on scaling, which is what we were trying to do yesterday, what Jay suggested that we do yesterday. So we will try and do that again here today. Let's see if it holds this low here on Lunar. Oop, oop, oop. Right down to the bottom end of the channel. I'm actually going to add here. And if we really break and fall away, maybe we're done. Let's see if we can bounce back up here on Lunar. Bottom end of that channel, pre-market support 556 on Lunar. Here we go. Let's bounce a little bit. See if we can get back to that VWAP. Okay. Tesla long on. I actually did have Tesla mapped out here. Interesting. So this is coming back. Let's see if it can break through that 208.50. Otherwise, maybe some more downside on Tesla.
All Mag 7's up today with NVIDIA being the biggest gainer. No surprise there since they were the biggest loser yesterday.
I'm seeing NVIDIA puts come across the unusual option. There's a call, 120 call.
Look at Broadcom though. That one's actually seeing a lot of movement. So I guess the play now is that NVIDIA is done. That Broadcom's earnings are next week, I believe. I think it's Thursday. That might be what they're rotating into in the anticipated run up.
Okay, we'll mention BNRG when it opens. We are halted to the upside there. TCBP resumed. TCBP. This was halted and then resumed. See if we get a pop here on Lunar. We can close this bad boy out. Affirm continuation. Yeah, indeed. And if we continue to break down there on Lunar, we're going to have to get out of that. EBS, we'll see if that gets some support here. Dell, how's Dell doing? Did that come all the way back in? It's trying to bounce there. Dell's not looking too terrible. BOF popping. That was one from yesterday, Seahorse.
Look at a firm go.
Look at it go. 43 buy now, pay later. Saw another report this morning that more people are transferring their purchasing to credit cards. That can't possibly be good. See if we can get a pop here on Lunar. Spy broke that pre-market high. Indeed, Caddyshack. Love that movie. Love that movie.
Yeah, I saw that BOF was popping as well. Got up to 199. $2 is, or let's call it 202. 202 would be the next upside target, and then after that, 250.
SMCI breaking down here. Next leg down currently on deck here for SMCI. NVIDIA at the highs here. Those two clearly not trading the same. Still waiting on Lunar. I feel like Lunar's getting heavy here. It's either got to move back to this VWAP or it's going to break down. We'll decide pretty soon whether or not we stay in this trade. Thanks for the tip on Intel, up 200 already. And using a trailing stop. So you're getting something in from our discussion yesterday. Let's go. Intel, nice little dip and rip from that VWAP. How did Mongo database do after the open? Sorry, 13. I keep running you over, my man.
Okay. Okay. I was looking at Lunar. This could be one that ends up returning later on. News is really good.
But don't we're out. We're done. Right through that 550. I'll let this settle out. We'll come back. 0 for 1 here today, but that's all right. That's all right. We'll still flip around on that. That really kind of sucked. Broke the bottom end of that channel.
AISP, that one looks like it's setting up to take out the 307 high it made about 10 minutes ago.
All right. AISP. How is Lulu doing, Alex? Coming back in. So, all right. So this actually broke the channel here. We got no back test of it. Looks like it's slowing down here. This is actually where it consolidated in the after hours yesterday on Lulu. BNRG is open.
Yep. Pushing, well, trying to push higher. Not really doing it yet.
Nope. Can't take out that 154 high. We got size above 157, 60, and 61.
Look at all those
155.
There's going to have to be a lot more volume to take all that out.
Sure is. That is exactly what I thought.
And TOBX, that one's getting support from VWAP. That could also turn around and take out the 715 if it continues to hold. And
Brittany, good morning. Chewy, love it. Love the company. Didn't trade it for this earnings. Would love to see this get back above 30. I actually think if we get above 30 and it can hold any type of that strength, we actually might be able to run. Might be a potential swing trade there on Chewy. So far this morning, nice little flag here out of the open. I do love the company though. Lunar, we'll see if we get back here. That kind of just flushed me out. Maybe I should have added again down in that area. We'll see how this shakes out here, and we'll adjust from there.
Yeah, that might be one to wait for.
BNRG going to the top end of this range here, 174. It's found resistance up here twice already today. So I think if you're in one of these trades, maybe pay yourself when you get up to that area. You might get an opportunity to reload this. Look at the volume pop. This corresponding with the exact move that we're looking for.
Yeah, I like 210 after that.
Okay.
$3 after that, and 320. We'll call it 327, 325 after that. And then there's also the 200 EMA on the daily chart up at 321.
Okay.
So that could be another spot as well.
How's Intel doing?
Neon's movement has moved over 30% since we looked at it.
This is actually a pretty sorry, I'll go to that here in a sec. 13 Intel at 2150. This is actually a spot for it. Okay. What was that? Which one was that? Sorry.
It was Neon.
Neon node.
That one just continues to like push up and fill gaps. It's done that twice already.
Thinking about it, great job there on Lunar. It looks like you got the dead low. Now that we're kind of back in this channel, if you bounce back to VWAP there, that was actually a pretty nice trade. So hopefully that one works out for you on Lunar. We're right at the bottom end of that range still. Thinking about it's out here. You love to see it. Oh God, that's the wrong ticker.
Yeah, Neo, that's been a great move. I don't exactly remember what the whole catalyst was, unless it was the Samsung patent case. I didn't really cover this one this much, but hey, if you traded the heck out of this, great job. Nice move. And Lunar volume drying up. BNRG has some funky financing.
Say that again.
They have some funky financing. So when I close my eyes and I think about their financing, I see disco balls and bell bottoms.
Oh no! I'm sorry that's what you see.
Well, that's what I think of when I think of the word funky. Look at Airship.
Hey, Lunar's trying to look at this, guys. Lunar's trying to trade back up.
Yeah, be careful. Especially around 570, 575. I think that'd be a
sick
resistance area.
I went to go hit close and missed it.
Oh, is that good or bad?
I mean, if we bounce back, it's great. Are you kidding me? What kind of question is that?
So when you know how you accidentally click something, we call it fat fingering. So what happens when you don't click something, by accident. What is that called?
I don't know.
Because that's what you did.
Well, no, see, I can close right from the positions menu here, but the Xbox is really small. I think I just kind of clicked alongside of it here and highlighted it. Gamble? You Nancied it.
You Nancied it.
Actually, Shaka, that's not even inaccurate. I did kind of Nance it, didn't I? I was trying to hit the button and I just straight up missed it. Well, now that we're committed and we still have these, I mean, and we're going to wait for a low a daybreak here. We'll just take a loss. That's what it is. Slim finger.
Slim fingering. Yeah.
Oh, let's see if we can break back above. Break back above.
Hey, Voodoo. You take it easy now.
Marvell, how's that doing? That's one we talked about here this morning. How did that not happen? Okay. Marvell actually coming back up to the VWAP, all jokes aside.
Shawshank asking about GFS, Global Foundry.
I thought you said Shawshank, and I was like, that movie's great. Just watched it the other day, but you didn't.
Andy
GFS is the stock that you're looking up?
Yes.
Global Foundries?
Yes, this is a chip fabricator in the U.S.
BNRG is running. BNRG, let me bring it up here. No, it isn't. It's actually still inside its previous candle.
Not quite sure what the move here in GFS is, but they do have some pretty interesting short interest here, 13% with 5.5 days to cover. So
here we go on BNRG. Let's see if we can actually break this top out. Nick, good morning. Hope you're well. Starting college. How is it? How are things on the quad? Here is BNRG. Watch that 174 area. 170 so far is your high print. 174, the high print from the pre-market. That's one of the levels we want to wait out here. Coming back into the VWAP. Let's see if it holds it there. 152.
It needs to go higher because a couple of upper shadows there is not a good sign.
Yep. No, it is not. No, it is not. And Lunar, oh man, are we sinking here? Well, we're going to wait. We're going to wait.
It might be tipping over.
It's already done that once, 13. It's already done that once. Actually, if we can hold down here, that would actually be pretty good.
Hey, Nick Brown, how you doing?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Nick just started college. I love college, Ryan. My schedule is the best, and I'm off on Fridays. Hey, that sounds a lot like my college schedule.
All right, BNRG trying to...
Are we going to break out here?
I mean, there's a lot of orders coming in to push it down, so we'll see.
It needs to take those wicks out. We'll see if it does that. Again, 170 here, the high print intraday.
All the movers not looking that great right now.
Finally seeing some NVIDIA calls come in here.
I hear you, Motion. All right, well, maybe BOF is trying to set up to take out two. We'll see.
Maybe SMCI, if it can take out its VWAP here.
Looks like Chewy's trying to bounce after coming back down to these demand zone from the pre-market.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Brian saying, playing conservative today, nothing fitting my requirements, looking for quality, and I don't see it yet. Me either. Wiss here saying, not liking the volume today. Not really liking the action yet here today. It's all right, though.
Yeah, everybody's already split to go have their Labor Day weekend. So it's going to be thin anyway. And we're at the end of the month, too. So they're going to, see markups. We have a gentleman in happy hour who talks a lot about that. So could end up having that as well. And then could be different kind of week next week.
EBS continuing to hunt to the downside here. Bristol Myers is moving here.
BNRG is really trying to take out that 165, but that is just a big wall.
Look, the thing is that if it takes this out, I actually think this has the juice to pop. Also, watch that 174 pre-market high. I know some of these range breaks to the upside haven't been working, but if it consolidates here and really kind of generates some of that, you can go through it. We've seen it already.
Things
I got 6 more hours and then I got my vacation. Brian, I do the same thing, man. I count that time down. Yesterday, I was counting time down to the fantasy draft. We had a great time on that. Had a great time. Let's look at a firm at its VWAP. Anyone looking to trade a firm here today? Curious. What do you think of ALAB? You know, we got to ask this the other day on ALAB. This on its daily actually looked pretty good. Kind of came in and looks like it's trying to take out its 50-day here on ALAB. I could see this being a long side swing if you're able to close above that and maybe get rolling.
The firm's trying. It's still holding VWAP, so looking to try and move up.
Here we go.
43.32.
Here.
Why'd you say it so quietly?
I don't know. I don't know.
I heard it.
Smart guy's asking if traffic's going to be bad this weekend. I would venture a guess, yes, it will with the holiday. I would venture a guess that it would be.
Could be.
BNRG came back to VWAP and held it. Really good sign. Really good sign. Let's see if we can pop the tops of those upper shadows off.
Yeah, man, it's lots of weakness. A firm, though, is still trying to get back up there.
Yeah, Smita asking, anyone using the Affirm service? Like, does anyone actually use Affirm in real life? I don't do buy now, pay later at all. I've got no experience with that. But curious, if anyone does use that service, I'd love to hear what your thoughts of it were.
I don't use it.
Yeah, me either. It's not my thing. I have. Brian, what's it like? I mean, is it just easy to use, straightforward, and I don't know.
And you know, there's other buy now, pay later stocks that are all kind of moving. That were moving with a firm. You had.
I do see the checkout, the little link on checkout pages, like you know, buy now with the firm, pay only. That and Klarna, I think, are the two that I see the most frequently.
Yeah, so PayPal is going to be another one, and Bread Holdings.
Yeah. It's easy to use, Elon. Okay, that's basically. I mean, the friction is low there. That I can understand.
Airship, new highs 320.
AISP.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's flying.
Just wait. You know what happens to these airships.
The biggest and last thing I bought was a gaming monitor. I feel that. Which one is this? The G something? Samsung G? I can't remember exactly which one this is. But I've got one of those as well.
That's what I need. I need one of those ultra wides.
Yeah, mine's just a standard. It's not like ultra wide, but it is 4K. Jay mentioning Visa. I think we were talking here about buy now, pay later. Jay mentioning Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, all of those doing well. This Visa one especially, Jay. This one I feel like definitely late too, as this really kind of moved off that 200. I've traded Visa before. This is a great one. I actually might look into a Visa swing here. And then PayPal. We actually talked about that too after the earnings.
Yep.
On Happy Hour. Volume picking up on ATPC. Yeah, it is trading up here. You're welcome, Shmita.
And BNRG looking a little bit worse now after following those upper shadows.
Yeah, it broke its VWAP. We're probably going to the bottom end of the channel here.
Could be.
Lunar not getting the bounce that it needs to. Let's see if we can get back up to VWAP there on Lunar. That'd be pretty sweet. Break of this 542 will be out. We will be out.
Yeah, I just might have to wait for this weakness to pass.
Funky's asking, isn't there some economic data today? That was PCE, right? We weren't expecting anything else. That we got that here in the morning. Market actually didn't even really react to that, it looks like.
Yeah, basically inline numbers except for core. I think core was slightly lower than expected. So didn't really tell us a whole bunch. Kind of seen it's kind of a thing of whether or not Powell is satisfied with where the PCE is, because he was saying that he wasn't going to wait until 2% to start cutting rates. And with all the things that have been happening lately, there's a lot of discussion that he's probably going to end up cutting in September.
BNRG halted to the downside here. We'll see what happens when that opens up. Still doesn't break the support. I've got that pre-market support at 128. How's Leslie? That was another one that you guys mentioned earlier here.
If you're looking for more economic data, the only other thing that comes out
Consumer
today
sentiment.
is consumer sentiment,
This is good.
speculative net positions, and Baker Hughes rig count.
Baker Hughes rig count. All right.
One more data in 5. Elon, you're referring to the jobs report next week on Friday? Because curious to see what they end up crapping out with that. BNRG is now halted to the downside.
Yeah, I just mentioned that.
I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
You're all good. You're all good, dude. Michigan. Do you guys trade the Michigan consumer sentiment number? Like, what do you look for? What do you try? How do you process that data? I'd be curious, Jay, especially with you.
I mean,
that's never been a print that I've kind of made a trade around, at least not that I can recall. Lulu bouncing back. All right. See if it clears that VWAP, right? It moves things. That's what I'm asking, Jay. Like, what are you looking at? Or do you kind of wait for the print to come out and see what it moves? What I'm asking for, a little bit more specific. Lulu, let's see if it can cross that VWAP there. How's Alta doing? Oh, man, look at that Alta bounce. Damn, this actually did pretty well. We actually back tested the VWAP and everything. So we actually had a decent setup there on Alta that we couldn't execute on. Damn. Seeing APLD on the scanner, although it's red.
And Alta has gap filled.
Alta completed that gap fill?
Yep.
Damn. So what do we think here? Is this probably the end of it, or maybe there's more today?
Now there's still a gap to fill that it created between yesterday and today, but I was looking at the one from August 14th to 15th. That gap's been filled.
Right.
The only other one left would be from yesterday, and that's going to be at 367.21. Looks like Lunar's trying to bottom.
Would love that. We'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. Needs to get some upside mo though.
Let's see what it can do here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Which one?
Look at Jay Rice and Alex Anderson, both right back to back. Warren must be buying some more.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Tovax, did that reverse? Did Tovax reverse? Let's see.
trying to,
back up to let's see if it crosses that. Let's see if it crosses that.
Trying to recapture VWAP, yeah. Lunar's certainly trying to turn around as well. How's Supermicro doing? Not great.
Be interesting to see if Alta can try and firm up and maybe even recapture that 50 at some point. That'd be something.
Firm still moving up after getting support from VWAP. Still trying to
see
push.
if it pops the top there. 43 looks to be the next spot.
Okay. Lunar volume is troubling. Yeah, it's like hey, everybody's happy the move was in and they're done.
Yeah. Good to see it's not breaking down further. We can trade it against this level, but no guarantee that this one's going to work here. And you definitely want to see that volume expand, and we're just not getting it.
And it might be, later on today when that happens. But
yep.
As thinking about it, I had mentioned earlier that I was, kind of asking myself, and he kind of confirmed for us, was that there is still more contracts to be, handed out. And there should be one in September next month for coming for Lunar as well. And what do we? Oh, BNRG is open again and lower.
Ooh. Let's see. Let's see. If we get a trade on BNRG.
Yeah, it's trying to recapture the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. That's currently suppressing the price.
See, didn't take out that bottom pre-market support. Awesome.
Lion Atlas, I absolutely hope that that's the case. I'm expecting I'm expecting there to be a big spike in the VIX and a correction at some, I think it should have started by now already. And goes into October. That would be ideal to me. So
remember, seasonally, September is an extremely weak month.
Yep.
So you got that going for you as well. NVIDIA about to do something, Chris? NVIDIA about to hit resistance. Okay. NVIDIA has been a nice little staircase right out of the gate here.
Yeah. Y'all have fun with NVIDIA.
We all have what?
I said, y'all have fun with NVIDIA. BNRG recovering.
Let's go.
Trying to recapture VWAP.
Yeah, that would be sweet there. Kovacs head and shoulders forming on the 5. Otherwise, strong. How's Vox doing, Sydney? That one's been a tough trade, but we ended up going green on that one. Here, let's take a look at BNRG again. Happy Friday to all you traders out there as well. BNRG, it is trying to get to that VWAP. Ooh.
I suppose I can see that pattern a little bit here. It's halfway into the regular session and a little bit into the pre-market as well.
Look at the move on PDD.
It's gonna have to start resolving to the downside soon in order to resolve the head and shoulders pattern. But it looks like it's still trying to finish forming the right shoulder.
Talk about no volume, XRTX Ghost Town. Yes, somebody asked about this in the pre-market, and I was like, there's nothing going on. Like, there's not even volume here.
Look at Lunar.
Oh, let's go to the moon, baby. Let's get above that VWAP right there.
VWAP 570 wall.
Might add into that wall if we break it. No. We'd love to see it pop through there, though, wouldn't we?
Oh, yeah. Lunar's been having some good trades this morning.
Yeah.
BNRG, too. God, I would love to see a breakout of VWAP on that one.
These VWAPs, we'll watch them. We will watch them. The NRG, this actually looks pretty higher lows, too, from the regular session here on this 3-minute. A break through that VWAP and a move to 174 would be great. Would be great.
I guess we could look at about 124 to 124.50 as a bit of a resistance area in NVIDIA. Just looking at the price action from the past couple of weeks when we were trying to hold above that level, and then earnings came out and then ended up dropping the following day. So we're beneath that particular support level. So I think somewhere in that handle, the 124 handle, I think there's resistance there.
Okay. Chris, you were mentioning Tesla earlier here. That looks like it took out that high there, came back in. We'll see if Tesla can make a move through 210 again here. SMCI looks like this wants to roll over intraday. That one's still showing some weakness.
ASIP airship, that one's a little more volume expansion, and we could make some new highs here, new intraday highs.
Look at airship taking off.
And there's okay. So Affirm broke out of that. That was great.
Affirm. We should have just stuck to trading this one. Man, oh man, Affirm.
Yeah, I guess it's not just buy now, pay later, but buy now, get paid later.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Yeah, I'll see you next week, folks.
Are you Costanza and leaving on a high note?
Yeah. We'll wait for Chewy to turn around here. Airships still trying to push. It really does look like Airship's going to test that 322 high.
Is it going to take off?
Yeah, and then BNRG, that's trying to hold above the 65 EMA on the 5-minute right now. Still,
look at that. You're right.
Yeah, with the heaters, exactly. Everybody stay warm. I'm bringing the heat.
Oh, Rustical, it's fine. None of that matters, man. We're out here to identify plays and have a good time.
Look, hey, Shaka, if Luna's not doing it for you, my man, don't trade it.
Close it. Yeah, look, close it. If it's not doing it, close it. Look. I mean, if you look at this, we're actually held this area down here. We've made one move back to the VWAP. The volume barely increased. We didn't get that volume pop to go over it. The big thing for me here is you guys have seen me this week alone
BOF.
faked out of a few of these things. Don't want to do that again. Sorry, UF?
BOF.
BOF.
Branch out foods.
That makes more sense.
This was from yesterday. I had mentioned that it's like maybe about 10 minutes ago that it was looked like it was turning around. It's pushing over BWAP now, trying to get back up to 199 and take that out. I have 202 as the next upside target, and after that, it's going to be 250.
Yeah, 199. Yeah, that's where the size is. I would imagine maybe there's something there at 2.
Chewy's trying to push the VWAP.
Ooh. Oh, Chewy. That actually is that would be set up for a nice little move higher. That could go through it.
Nice ADW. I'll look at Disney for you, Shashank. So this looks like it's potentially putting in an inverse head and shoulders here on the
is this
daily.
Disney?
Mm-hmm. And I've changed my tune a little bit on Disney after I've heard about some changes being made within some of their Marvel and Lucasfilm studios. So if those changes are true, that's encouraging. It means that we may be getting some better content. It does look like this is really trying to put in an inverse head and shoulders. So let's see it get back up to the 50-day SMA. Well, first things first, I need to see it recapture $90.50. But it is getting support from the 20-day SMA, which is good. I just need to see it get back above that 90.50 level and then get back up to the 50-day SMA. So that's what I'd be looking for. We start losing the 20-day SMA, then there's something else happening here that is pulling it down, and I don't know what it is, but I'll find out if it does.
Crassy saying if ANF establishes a base here, might pick up more in the long term. The other thing here, I know we held above the 200. I like to see actual tests of that. But I think as long as this thing does have strength above that 200, Crassy, I do think that this could really kind of go higher here. Again, 148, what is that? 148 and change, maybe 149 for a gap that fills up to 160. So that could be pretty good if you end up getting in there on ANF. That's one I would watch. That's one I would watch.
Oh, so
Which
there is some news from Disney. Disney and DirecTV seek to renew distribution agreement ahead of the NFL season. And
distribute what though? I mean, DirecTV doesn't even own the.
I don't know.
Distribution agreement, yeah. This is putting. That has to do with DirecTV subs getting access to the Disney streaming platform, right? I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay. And then there's also some other news from late yesterday that it's probably also moving on, but it's kind of flat at the moment.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm going to check on a firm here. Oh, look at a firm. Keep going. It's got some squeezy action in here. Shaka ATPC. That's the one I was just looking at there. Market Sniper, I think that was, said he was getting FOMO from that. Yeah. Market Sniper getting FOMO on ATPC. Is that because it's slowly grinding back up towards those highs? Is that what's going on there? This thing actually a pretty decent move.
I don't want anybody to, think this is happening, but if a firm got up to 50, I don't think I'd be that surprised. I think it could get
That'd be a heck of a move post earnings 13.
It could get up to 50. I don't want to say it's definitely going to, but that would be something I'd be watching for, because this, when I look to the left, that's the next big level, I think.
Oh man, Lunar broke. Yeah, we're just going to have to accept defeat here. I'm going to make sure that I sell it correctly this time. Let's see if it bounces back at all here. Scoop some more of that up. Bounce back up here.
Get support from that 525 level where all those all that demand is.
No, I just mean I'm just trying to minimize the loss that I'm about to take here. See how it's bouncing a little bit? And I have a small position, so it's not as if it's going to move the price anymore here. But this one just clearly didn't work. Clearly didn't work. Fell out of that. It is bouncing.
It tipped over
at a time. It tipped over again. Oh no, 13. Oh no, not now. Not now. Oh, that's actually funny though.
Yeah, the big names might, in the SPY, the broader market might do well, and then as soon as the volume goes away, we may see some selling in the afternoon.
I'm bringing a bid in here in Lunar. Maybe I should have bought that flush. Should have done the smoke tuna method. Free jet. Made my profit. I'm out this shit. Good looks, guys. But beware, September, month of the Bears. So actually, September is definitely seasonality wise a very, very weak month. This is something that we have been talking about ad nauseum here in happy hour. So I'm with you on that one. We'll see what the long weekend brings. And remember, on Tuesday, we're going to start September. That'll be our first trading day in September.
Enjoy your long weekend, Free Jeff.
Enjoy the long weekend. Absolutely.
BNRG.
Absolutely.
Is now just touched VWAP, trying to get back above it. This one could be recovering.
Okay. I'm going to go to that soon here, as soon as I feel that the lunar bounce back here is done. As much back on this bad trade as possible.
EBS, after selling out of the gate and going lower, seems to have found a bottom, and it looks like it's curling. Want some confirmation in this first before I would get into it, but it's looked like it's trying to turn around. And oh my gosh, BNRG.
Here we go, ripping through that VWAP. We're going to take out 174 this time. That's the big level here. Some size at 165. Might prep at 170, the day high there.
Yeah, I got you, Buddha. Yeah, it looks like BNRG is really trying to go for that pre-market and intraday high.
165 is that spot to look at, I think. That is some big size there. And the volume, see the thing now that you're starting to see here, the volume starting to increase a little, starting to expand a little. Let's see.
Uh-oh, seeing some wicks.
Starting to wick back down here.
Lunar potentially finding some support around 524, 525.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to close that one. I don't think that's going to pop back here. Actually, we did turn around. Buddy, are you snoring?
In this irrational market?
That is adorable. What's that?
In this irrational market?
What?
Of course it could turn around and come back up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not counting on that, though. This thing is...
That's a good idea.
Look, I mean, since the open here, we've shown weakness, right? We broke through the VWAP. We're really unable to take out the VWAP on the 2 attempts that we've retested it to the upside. Probably done here. Probably at the... There we go. Guaranteed we closed it this time. 0 for 1. Unfortunately, on Lunar. Let's go back and see if BNRG does take out that level here. Remember, 165 is the spot that we're looking at there. 170 the day high.
Line Atlas running away after selling.
There's 165. They chopped a huge piece of it there. I think that probably goes through. Here we go. 170. We going to pop this off?
Looking for 215 if we can get above the pre-market high.
There it goes. Now they're putting in a huge bid here.
Here we go. I'm going to halt.
I'm going to take some. Let's see if we pop.
Nope.
Are we going to halt here?
Maybe now it halts here.
No, I'm gonna see if it falls here. Oh, damn it. I was thinking it was gonna die there and fall. I took it off.
And it's halted.
Oh, right before the halt. I got screwed there. That's all right, though. That's all right there.
Great.
Oh, BNRG. All right. So we want a break now out of this halt at that 174 resistance. We want this to break and go higher here, BNRG.
Looks like the broader market might be turning around.
Let's see. SPY looks like SPY went up to that 562 there.
We got the Michigan consumer sentiment reports.
What was that print here? Let me look that up. Michigan consumer sentiment for August, 67.9 versus 67.8 estimate, beat it by a tenth. Prior read was 66.4. So what did that move? So Jay Rice, you were talking earlier about how that moves stuff. What's moving now because of that consumer sentiment number? What is the stuff that we should be looking at?
Was saying ATPC about to go.
That's that one that was curling back, ATPC, right?
It's getting support from VWAP at the moment.
It's in line, nothing. Okay, so there we go.
Yeah, I don't know about ATPC. I don't like the way the past couple of 5-minute candles look.
Looks like that slow grind is kind of done there.
Maybe I'm wrong, and it ends up being, ends up just turning around and going higher. I don't know. I don't know anything about ATPC. Kramer said buy, I say selling. Oh, what did he say buy in? Because I agree. That's usually a sell signal when he says buy.
Didn't he just do that this morning? Dennis was talking about that on pre-market prep. What was that? Ulta? What was that stock that he had said? It was just really bad luck. He's like, I like this here. And then they announced something in the earnings call and it ended up selling. Was that Ulta? Let me bring Ulta up here. What did we do?
I don't know.
Ulta,
but after Didi, I don't think that man should ever be allowed on TV.
Dell. It was Dell. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it was right here, right? It was yesterday in the after hours, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, it was just kind of holding up here after that initial pop. He said he liked it. Then they announced something on the call and it sank. And it was just like, it just seemed like bad luck. I mean, I don't even want to smack talk the guy. It just seemed like
it's not bad luck. He's notorious for doing stuff like that.
ALZN.
You know what I'm talking about with Didi, right? Remember that one?
Oh yeah. Oh
gosh, that was just a
that was egregious failure. Though. I feel like that was one of the worst ones.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know why he's still on TV.
Damn. I see his commercials every morning for the investing club. And all of the people that they're interviewing that they, say are real customers, they all seem extremely happy. But I feel like if they were in the show, they'd get more value out of it.
Linus, I like the way you think. You're gonna have a great time shopping. SPY flipping around a little bit.
Just have a shopping list.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got a shopping list.
How long do we have on this BNRG halt? We were halted at 174. Let's see. Let me go back to my main screen here. That was 15. So maybe a 5-minute halt if it opens here in a minute. Is that 5 or a 10? I guess it didn't say. We'll see.
Shaka, if he's a meme, he should be on Reddit, not CNBC. But I agree. I agree with you on the first part. So, oh gosh, Robert, I so wish you were around for
I know
happy hour chat yesterday because we actually covered this. Do you want to talk about it, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, we both can. So, Robert, here, question: isn't Hindenburg violating some kind of securities law by loading up on shorts and then releasing a scathing report on a company? From what we understand, Hindenburg is just a research firm. And actually, Jay Rice, shout out to you, Jay Rice. I believe in here the day we talked about this first, you had mentioned that Hindenburg were not traders. Am I getting that right? I don't want to attribute something to you that wasn't you, but I don't believe that they trade. So I don't think they can do what Robert is saying here.
Yeah.
If Pelosi is safe, then Hindenburg is safe. I mean, I don't even know about that.
Yeah. So Jay Rice.
Jay Rice. I think this is what we were talking about. They sell their research only, BNRG right? Open. They're not traders here. BNRG open 175 indication. There it was. Actually, it looks like it popped to 189. Hopefully, you guys were able to sell on that. This is above the resistance zone. This is where we would be closing those trades that you're buying. What 140, 150 and a VWAP cross. at least scaling out.
No, I'm probably going to just, shake.
Brian, dude, sold at 185.
Nice.
That is, yeah, that deserves 2. Here we go. New highs, 190 now. BNRG.
It was a good one.
That was.
Lunar
That
trying
indeed
to turn
was.
around. Well done, Shaka.
Well done. How's
And then Funky-
AISP doing? That was another one that we were talking about.
Yeah, Funky is mentioning that Broadcom earnings next week just went below VWAP. Maybe it's a semiconductor weakness. Let's see what the other semis are doing here.
Tell you what, SMCI really selling off. Really selling off here.
Look at NVIDIA. That one popped up to 121.74 and reversed. Now it's going lower. It's under 120 now. So I think that may just be kind of like a bit of a sector thing. If we start looking around at these other semis, we might be.
How was that? How was that ALAB one? Okay, that was actually still lower as well.
GFS higher, but it also has turned around at the same time that NVIDIA did. So some kind of weakness happening at the same time at the semis.
Okay. That SMCI looks like it's still looking for a bottom here today. Oh, you know what? I actually forgot to do this. One sec.
Oh, it's Airship. You mentioned Airship a bit ago. It looks like Airship is trying to go for that 322 level again. Might take another 5 minutes or so, but we'll have to see. Jay Rice, I don't want to answer for him, but I think Robert had puts for SMCI. I don't want to say that, no, but I think that's what his plan was. Robert will have to tell us.
MNY, another one there. That actually went to new highs as well.
It's making new highs. 153 now?
No, Robert had PDD puts.
Oh, okay, that's right.
He did get beat.
Okay,
he got beat up on SMCI with your profits, though.
Okay.
Remember, he was crushing SMCI.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought he had
That's all good,
on that.
dude.
That's PDD. You're right.
It's all good, dude. We're here to help each other, not shit talk each other.
I'm still going to say sorry, dude.
Fair enough. Anne Marie is confirmed for today. Get your option trades ready. I think we're pretty much done with the big earnings, aren't we? Could take a look for next week. See where we're at.
Yes, Sideshow. Analyst ratings do have influence. It really depends on who they are, and how much coverage they get. So if you see like a company that's going to get like multiple, price targets and coverage, that's going to have more of an effect than, let's say, just a company that gets one price target. And Lunar might not be done. Did
we get flushed out of that one a little too early?
Me?
No, did I?
Oh
no, this is still holding lower. We're still okay here.
Yeah, hasn't turned around yet. But let's see, to his point, let me just see how many analyst ratings there are as of today. So there's just that one. And that's probably off of the NASA news as well. But when you have like another company that just reported earnings and they have a whole bunch of analyst coverage, that's going to what moves the stock further. BNRG. Sorry.
Bitcoin's still flirting with that 60K level. BNRG, more highs here. We're going to go for some more highs here.
Yes, Funky, you're right. Analysts will more times than not pump the stock further because they it's generally frowned. I wish Tom were here to kind of explain it better because he's always so much more articulate about it. But these these analysts, they are kind of told us what they're supposed to say or ask when they're in those conference calls, and sometimes they won't even get allowed to ask their question if they're averse to the company.
Yeah. So what Tom was saying, and again, Tom, this guy that we're referring to was a former analyst who actually sat on these calls and asked these people questions. He said what the company will do is if they're trying to maybe hide or protect information and not answer questions, they'll front load the call with a lot of information and content. And then when they get to the end, they'll only call on maybe the analysts that have the most positive recommendations on their stock and answer their questions because they know those are going to be a little bit easier. And then they end the call. And I mean, that sounds crappy any way that you slice it, to be quite honest with you. Like I'm more inclined to change my own personal opinion, whatever it is, if someone is facing and answering difficult questions. All right. So even if a company reports bad news, if the CEO is willing to get up there, take it, has a plan, is well spoken, thought out, all of those things, I'm more likely to be on that side than I am the other way, right? If a company reports bad news and then the company's kind of avoiding it, like that to me is a stay away type deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, Market Sniper.
And looks like Airship just made some new highs, 325 now.
Oh, and then Chris is saying there are content moderators who filter question and answer from regular folks like you and me. Yeah, that I've heard.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed that some harder questions weren't asked at the NVIDIA conference call. Like, hey, are SMCI's checks clearing?
Yeah.
That'd be a big one for me.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Jay here, again, reiterating, this is what we talked about when we first started talking about these. Hindenburg, can't stress it enough. They do their research. Jay's not the only person to say this, by the way. We have some more longer-term traders that really say the same thing as he does in one of our other shows that Jay doesn't join. They did their research. It's not Citron, which trades, not Fuzzy Panda, which called Globe Life, which was a disaster, Spruce Point. They nailed Carl Icahn. All of it came to fruition. So Hindenburg, that's one. You know what we can do next time? I was worried about doing it this time because I thought it might just be too boring. We can actually go through the short report line by line if you want. If we get another one of those and we kind of want to investigate it as a group, I wouldn't mind doing that. But if I'm just sharing a screen full of text and we're reading, I don't know how entertaining that is.
Airship is making new highs. Don't know if it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna halt, but it had a big move just now, and it could have some more big.
Where's
moves.
Glenn? Glenn's got to be thrilled. Where is Glenn? He's got to be thrilled with Airship's performance here today.
Let's see here. Yeah, BNRG, that was a pretty good sell signal you had there. Forgot who said that, but somebody was saying that.
There's Glenn.
Jay Summers. Yeah.
There's Glenn.
Watch 348.
One of those levels to watch here. Okay.
And I'm sorry, that was in
Richard Judge with the comment of the morning. Can Hindenburg research Mullen?
Not enough meat on that short. You know what I'm saying?
Not enough meat on that short. Okay, that's fair.
TOVX. Yep.
Maybe back to its VWAP. Big spread here on TOVX. 25-cent spread here.
Yeah, there's some there's a little bit of size there at 640 comparatively. So let's see here. Let's do this. What else we have going on here? EBS pretty much flat on the day now.
EBS.
Yeah, that one went back to start from because it closed yesterday at about this area, so it's back to start now.
Here we go. BNRG. We're going to get a pop here. 190. There is size there. Does it have the strength to do this? 175 has some bid support. Wanted to call it bid strength, but bid support down there.
I think Judge is mentioning LOI unless he's
no, that's LOL. That's LOL
okay.
from about the Hindenburg Mullen research.
Okay, it just gets a lower case L at the end. Gotcha.
Yep. I
wasn't sure if that was an I or an L. TOVX. Wow, this is going to go back up to its VWAP. It looks like.
BNRG, I'll give you guys all credit here. BNRG does have that look like it's going to roll through 190 here.
If it does pop,
Chaka saying triple top. Be careful.
Yeah, there's that. If it does pop through 190, I'm still looking at 210, 212 as a potential top. All right, looks like TOVX might be slowing down a little bit.
Let's see if thought BNRG might come back into 175. I tell you what, that 174, 175 pre-market high level that we identified, that was money.
ASTS back over 30. Oh yeah, that was a great opportunity at the open there, down near 28.50. Now it's over $2 since that.
I'm out of PDD. Happy with my profits. Yeah, I don't doubt that, Robert. We're going to give you the trifecta because that was money. That was a money trade here. I want to take a look at a firm. I kind of didn't want to take BNRG off the sky. Oh my God, a firm continuing to go higher.
$50. I'm telling you, I think that we could get there.
I overstayed my welcome on BNRG. I'll watch from the car. Brian, just be careful. Hands at 10 and 2, bro. Hands at 10 and 2, bro. See if this holds 175 here. 31,000 on the bid there. See if it holds that. I don't. Robert's saying I love a firm. Robert, I dislike a firm. I dislike the Baiynd, that entire like way of doing things. I don't like because of just my own personal finance experiences. But what I will say is if you can't beat them, join them. And there has been upside trades in Affirmed, and we've tried to take those. I've tried to put my bias aside so that I can trade those things. BNRG here. Sorry, go ahead.
I think this is a real big read on how much the consumer is struggling. The fact that these buy now, pay laters are taking off. I think that should be a clear warning for a lot of people. Yep,
I think so too. And I'm not trying to, speaking of overstaying your welcome, I'm not trying to overstay my welcome in any of those trades. I'll be perfectly happy simply day trading a firm. That doesn't, if I day trade it and then it goes higher the next day, I'm not going to be upset about that. Not at all.
Well, it's not, if you're responsible enough to pay it back, Funky, then I don't think you have anything to worry about. The problem is that that's going to get taken advantage of. There are going to be people that just pile in their debt into these buy now, pay laters with no intention of paying it back. So that's the big concern for me.
Yeah, and that's, again, that's speculation. Like, for example, we're talking about a tightening consumer here. I still use a credit card, guys. I put everything that I purchase for the most part on a credit card because I get bonus points for it. But like 13 was saying, I'm responsible. I pay it off. What do we think on BNRG? We're trading back up here. We're gonna take this high out. What do you guys think?
There's a lot
get them points, Brian. See, man, you can use that stuff responsibly. You can really help yourself out.
It's a lot of supply. There's gonna have to be some big volume to get over 190 to $2.
Now, Jay, you'll be happy to know, Jay, I paid my student loans back. That suffocated me for a while, but I paid it back. I knew what I was doing when I signed those papers, Jay. I knew what I was doing. Never mind the fact that I've probably learned more from YouTube than from school anyway over the years now. But regardless, you live up to your obligations and your commitments.
Learn with Moses, you're talking about the high of a firm.
BNRG lost that big support that it had there at 175, folks. Now that is resistance. They're flirting with that area. I'm going to try some right here. I'm just going to try some right here. If it breaks back down, we're out. If not, we'll be able to claw some back here from the missed move earlier.
Yeah, I'm just looking at 50 for a firm because that was the February high. The actual, after that or before that, we had a high of 52.48.
I'm going to have a real tight stop here. This might not work, but I'm going to put a real tight stop on here. We'll see.
Yeah, so I don't know that we'll get up to that high, but 50 does look possible to me. It might even start slowing down as we approach 50. Maybe even start to slow down as we get up to 48. All right, so TOBX getting mentioned. That
TOVX, I'll bring that on screen here. BNRG is trying to go back up towards that 190 at least so far. Here's TOVX for you.
Yeah, it's trying to. It looks like it's trying to get back up to VWAP, but those upper shadows from the past couple of candles have me thinking that it's still going to face some resistance.
Look at a firm continue to run here. I mean, this is insane. BNRG, let's see what happens at 190 here, folks. 193, we're higher. Boop, boop. Locked in another one. Locked in another one. Let's go, folks. Let's go. It's 2 trades on BNRG.
Good. I hope you absolutely take out the loss that you made from.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. You're good.
Oh, yeah.
You're good.
We traded the wrong stock early. We traded the right stock late. Boom, boom, boom. That's how we do.
Just don't be wrong.
Multiple me saying, honor your commitments. Heart to hear you say that, as so many in the younger generation don't have these values. You are absolutely right about that. Those values, man, those really came from family. I'll never forget the first time that I was a young kid, and I asked one of my friends if I could borrow $5, I think. And at that point, we were just getting paid allowance money, right? We didn't have a job or anything. And my dad was like, that's okay, but you have to pay him back. This is your friend. You made a commitment. You have to honor your commitment. And I will remember that to the day I die. And I just scale that up. Sorry, what ticker were you?
ASTS. Jay Rice was also watching this too. This thing is just having a big move today.
Oh, this was the trade. I shouldn't have even bothered with some of those little stocks. We should have just done this one.
Yeah, TOBX still trying to get back above 6 and hold it. What else? BNRG that popped to 195 and dropped. It's just, there's so much supply up there.
I told you that when we pop above 190, we're going to close this trade here. And that is exactly what happened. Sold into the strength. Sold into the strength. SMCI, did that find an intraday bottom, by the way, guys? SMCI?
Line Atlas, it's not bad down here. Could end up getting a little bit lower, maybe under 820. But, I'm right there with you. I think, it'd be a good idea. Lunar trying to turn around. Chewy trying to turn around.
Big question. So do I try to claw? I've already clawed back using a different name. Do I even try to claw back on Lunar? My gut tells me just avoid. It didn't work earlier. I didn't do a good job, so avoid.
Sounds reasonable to me.
I mean, that's just kind of the way I look at it.
You just have to promise not to be upset if it runs.
Well, that's I mean, that 13. That's happened so many damn times at this point now. I better not be upset about it.
Okay, good. You should be desensitized to it now.
those ones where you have a plan and then you get shaken and then your plan execute, that is the hard pill to swallow. Let's face it. And that's happened to pretty much everybody.
And so when on days like that, you just kind of review the trade, see where you went wrong, and try to learn from what you didn't do right. Yes, exactly. Parker's that's revenge trading. Then I've done it too. I won't say that I'm the perfect saint here. I'm absolutely not. But it's something you do not want to try to do as often as possible because it does not work out all the time. And when it doesn't work out, it just makes the losses even bigger, and you don't even feel any better. So why? Look at BNRG. This is trying the 195 again.
We're going for highs again. Here we go. $2 got some size there. 195, the high print, we're right here. Now this one, I don't know if I want to buy the high break. This one, I want to wait this out and buy the weakness.
ELRG.
ATPC, is that moving still too? ENRG.
Jay's Life, are you mistyping?
Yes, he is. He's been spamming BNRG all morning.
No, he's saying
I know
BLRG.
it's a mistype.
Gotcha. Yeah, it is looking like Luna's trying to turn around here. Need to see that MACD cross though, or start to cross. BNRG, $2.
Did we break above?
Not yet. Not yet, but if we do, I'm looking at 210 to 212.
And that size there is something we've already eaten multiple times here today. Wonder if they're refilling that. Volume expanding, looking good here.
It's a good point.
They're eating it. They're eating it. Oh, they refilled it and off. Hey, but you know what? Watch that, because again, this is the vending machine thing. We're right back on there now. They brought in a bid to support it. They're taking it. And they refilled it and took that bid out. This battle, this is why I don't want to trade this battle. We've already kind of scratched this back here. We don't need to participate.
It's a bit of a National Geographic battle, isn't it?
A little one. Oh, look at how much they refilled it there at 2. 2's a big spot here. If this gets taken, this can definitely pop higher, without a doubt.
They're chunking at it, but
yeah, they've been chunking at it. They've actually removed it twice now, only to have it refilled. I wonder if any of the other. Let me check FinTwit here.
Check my. This is actually fun to watch.
Yeah, it sure is. When we'll see what happens here. There it goes. There's the pop.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yep. All right. Is it going to get to 210?
And where's the sell point? So, actually, this might be a halt here if this holds. 208. Yeah. They're hitting it. There's still stock trading there. That's going to halt.
It's going to halt. Yeah.
Nope. Oh, that was close. That was close.
All right, there's 210. All right, well,
I'm going to take one. I'm going to take just a little bit.
That was the
Did we halt? No, it's still trading. It's going
to halt. Now it's halting.
I think it's going to, but I still see prints here. I bought 1 cent higher. Okay, so I got a little piece here. We'll see if this works. We'll see if this one works.
He's having a great time.
Yeah, it's Friday, baby. It's Friday. Dude, we have a 3-day weekend. You know what that means? 13 more golf, dude. More golf, more better. We had college football last night. I was watching those games last night. We got more tonight, more tomorrow. I mean, what's there not to be happy about?
Get that hole-in-one this time, dude.
Oh yeah, I'll try.
Hey, Jay's Life wants his flowers.
What's that?
Jay's Life wants his flowers for BNRG.
Too much back and forth and shit talking here. Good job on the trade. Glad you made money, but
give him a rose.
Doing way too much shit talking. That's not what we're doing here.
Give him a rose.
I did. I just gave you a register ring.
Okay.
Just gave you a register ring.
We're having fun here. It's Friday. It's a thin day. It's gonna be a bad month.
I want this to pop out of that open. I want this to pop. I want this to just go ham. Actually, Apple looks like that might go higher here. Bitcoin really struggling, lost 60K and looking like it might challenge 59K to the downside.
TOVX still trying to get back up to VWAP.
We will check it out.
A firm kind of cooling at the moment, hasn't lost any really significant level yet, but it is cooling, looking like it might start to roll over a bit here. If it does go down, I'd be looking at let's call it 43.30 as a potential support, and then beneath that VWAP.
Let's see on a firm.
EBS still no bottom. BOF holding above the $2 level. Looks like it might try to go higher. Volume pending.
We shall see on BOF. This is actually a pretty good clawback here. 214, that level from yesterday's intraday that we need to get back over.
Great job, River. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day and great weekend.
Hey, River, you made some money off that lunar curl. Let's go. Let's go. Just had to be patient with that one.
You do deserve a fat ribeye steak, Lion.
Oh, yeah.
Treat yourself.
Ribeye is where it's at, too. Let me tell you something. You can do a lot of stuff with ribeye.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff with ribeye.
Oh, yeah.
What am I telling you for?
Yeah, I had a tomahawk for my birthday.
There you go.
All right, Lunar. That's still pushing up here.
Let me ask.
What's up?
Is anyone trading any betting stock ahead of football season? Pro football, because college football started pretty much last week, but really yesterday. Is anyone trading any of these betting names? Caesar, any of the casino names, DraftKings, Flutter Entertainment? Is anyone trading any of the names here for the NFL season?
Well, DraftKings doesn't have their next report until the end of October.
Right. Now,
so I would wait, I think.
So the reason that I ask that, nope, all sports are rigged, says Lewis. Okay, well, that side. Zoltan was asking about this earlier, saying, hey, is there a trade to be had around the NFL season? And one of the things that I had mentioned to him is that we tried this, I believe, last year. We literally tried DraftKings around NFL kickoff, and it was straight down. It did not work. Zoltan, if you're here, I'd love for you to chime in. But Zoltan, his thesis was that football, not a worldwide popular sport yet, like soccer is. And he was suspecting that might have been why it kind of played that role. Voodoo saying, Ryan, I don't trade them. I haven't seen the big moves. I haven't seen the big moves in them during NFL season. See, it might be a different sport. It might be soccer, like Zoltan was saying, Voodoo.
Notice there have been intraday
I was just going to say
flash flushes. So let me just pull up a SPY chart here because I've seen that the past couple of days, but I don't think it's something that's been happening. Well, maybe it has.
BNRG open, dropping. BNRG is open, folks.
Yeah.
210's that high, big pull. Here we go, right back on to 210. Man, this thing is all over the place.
Looks like Tuesday didn't really happen that much because it would had a big rally out of the gate. So that might be, you could consider that pullback. But yeah, I see what you're talking about, how kind of in the middle of the day, there seems to be some pulling. And I think a lot of it
higher. BNRG higher.
A lot of it is in the lunch hour. So that's probably just a lot of people closing positions and stepping away and then coming back later. But
I'm gonna leave this on in case this really runs, since it's only a small position. We've already hit this twice to get back to scratch here.
But Elon, it's a good point.
Yeah, so Chris, there are a lot of international games in both those sports. You're right about that. I'm just not sure the draw is that high. BNRG continuing to rip higher here. 225 going to be your next spot there with size.
Okay, now Jay's life. This is the move you wanted. This is great.
This is the big move here.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's pop. Tell you what, this is wild too. The amount of volume flowing back and forth here, kind of wild.
Well, Amanda, it didn't seem that way at the beginning, and it kind of ended up being that. It seemed like she was saying that she looks like she slept through a busy morning, and it didn't feel busy at first. But it ended up picking up a little bit later.
The PCE print was kind of a flop, but then the action out of the open hasn't been terrible. You know what, though? Now that we're discussing that, don't you kind of think that this is going to die off here with the 3-day weekend coming up? I got to be honest. I don't think traders are going to sit at their desk the entire day here today.
I wouldn't think they would.
Yeah.
BOF trying to get support from 2.
222. 222. If 2's your lucky number, BNRG is your stock here.
Oil names are waking up. Let's take a look at XLE. Okay. Looks like they even had some more weakness earlier this week, like on Wednesday, Thursday.
Crassy, you're done at 1 today? Have yourself a great afternoon, brah. Brah.
The A students. That's a good one. Yeah, Gerald, that's, this it gets a little bit more volatile, a little bit more spready, right? All right, so some of these just kind of, Lunar on the recovery, almost at VWAP.
Sorry, going through some notifications here.
No problem. Also look like
rolling through some stuff.
The firm just put in a new intraday high of 44.63 and then pulled back a little bit. Still looking like it might be running out of steam here in a firm.
Check Lunar first here. Lunar almost all the way back to that VWAP. Would have had to kept adding for this to work, and I don't want to do that. I don't think that's disciplined.
There it goes. BOF just made new intraday highs, 210. Looking like it's trying to go higher here.
214's that spot.
There's that one. And BNRG still holding that 210, 212 area.
I'm concerned about these wicks though. I'm concerned about these topside wicks. We'll see if we break this high at 222. Left a trailer on for this.
Does it start to pull back again, Lunar? At the moment, it doesn't quite look that way. I mean, we just got a MACD crossing, and it's almost up to VWAP. But I'd say maybe once it gets a little bit closer to VWAP, it might start to weaken out a bit. That's about 560, 561. So bit of size on the way up there, but nothing a little volume expansion couldn't handle until you get to like 565. Then that's a much bigger wall.
228 now. 230's got more size here on BNRG, and this is one of those poppable levels. Last time we were at one of these levels, it took 3 attempts to get through it, but it worked, and it worked well.
Take care, Judge.
Judge, take care of yourself. Thanks again for participating in the draft, bro. Looking forward to playing with you again.
It's gonna be fun.
Judge was on the podium last year, so look out. And Judge has got some extra motivation because remember, we kind of talked some smack about the Giants. Well, he was wearing a Giant shirt there. So I wouldn't be shocked if Judge has a little bit more extra motivation for us here today. Let's see if BNRG can go through that 230 here. Another sell alert received here, Jay Summers. Jay Summers, you've been scalping this. You're a pretty active scalper. You've been scalping this one back and forth. Should we pull a 13 and raise our stop here? I'm going to do that. We're going to do exactly what we're going to do it at 222 too. We're going to do exactly what 13 talks about doing all the time. And if it breaks this 230, we're going to raise our stop again, 13 style.
Sounds like a good idea.
Mac, little 15-cent scalp. Bring that register, baby.
SMCI has been holding above this 425 level ever since it dipped back down to 421 and popped back up.
230 got wiped out, BNRG. 235 next. Guess what, guys? Stop raise time. Boop. This is easy now, 13. Easy like Sunday morning. We'll see. I have 242 has some more size there. We'll see if we can get up. But we're good. Good at the moment. Swing count's looking good. A good Friday here, folks.
BNR just got a huge bid at 235.
Yep. And guess what? If we halt here, nope. We're going to fall out. 240's got the next size on the upside, but that can get deleted. And we're here. We are here.
Funky asking what a halt is and why they happen.
Okay. You want to take it? You want me to take it?
We can both take it. I can't remember the exact time frames for each halt, but they typically happen on volatility and when there's a news pending or there's something material that the company needs to put out that is out of like the usual earnings or news cycle. So those are several different reasons. But Ryan, can you kind of tell them about the different halt times? I mean.
Yeah, so halts. So let me see if I can actually bring up a visual aid for us. NASDAQ halt types. Halt codes. Okay, here you go. Let me see if I can share this. We'll do this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, it might be difficult to see. I'll try and blow it up for you guys. So halts. So like 13 was saying, they will halt a stock for volatility, like you were kind of seeing here with BNRG, right? It's going up and down and this and that. And by the way, I did get stopped out of my trailer piece there on the way back down. Boop. That is gorgeous. Okay, so halts. They could also halt stocks for news, right? So like, let's say a stock is going to announce bankruptcy and like it's a really important stock, right? They might say, halt the stock. We're going to release news for everybody and then unhalt it so that everyone can react at the same time. The volatility halts, that's what we encounter here on this show the most. And that just has to do with the stock moving X percentage in a certain amount of time. Now it's tiered based on the stock price. So I'm not sure exactly what all those levels are without looking it up. That's kind of why I wanted to bring this up. But here we go. Here are going to be, and I'll throw this in the chat here for you guys as well. Here's going to be the NASDAQ halt codes and all these different halts, right? So T1 halt, news pending, that's the one you generally have to be scared of. What was it? What is the volatility one? T6 is the extraordinary market activity. T5 is the volatility one. That's a 10% or more price move in a security in a 5-minute period. That's what I was looking for. And I
just got a large drop in SPY. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all good. So they basically halt stocks so that there's no like crash. Or at least that's what they say. Let's go back to I gotta go.
Yeah. SPY had it'd been consolidating all morning, finally fell down and took out everything in the pre-market. So I guess people are leaving for the holiday.
Okay.
No problem.
We got 1 minute here left in the show. Been a good show here today. Been a really good. I've had a good time hanging out with you folks on Friday.
Absolutely.
We've got a 3-day weekend coming up. Reminder, don't show back up on Monday. We do have Anne-Marie coming up here next. 13, you got any closing words for the group?
Folks, you guys did awesome this week. Have a wonderful vacation, 3-day weekend. I'm going to be sitting on my hands pretty soon here because I don't want to have a good day go south on me before the vacation. So if you feel the same way, let's do it together. See y'all on Tuesday.
All right. I like it, 13. Really good stuff here this week. Take care of yourself, boss, and we'll see you next week. 13's departure, well, sad because he's awesome, leaves room for the one and only Anne-Marie. So we'll go ahead and bring Anne-Marie. Can I get a thumbs up? Make sure everything's good. All right. Anne-Marie is good. Anne-Marie, happy Friday. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. A little bit of network glitches. So hopefully you'll be able to do our spreads for us because I've got it on another network. So I don't mess that up, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
Did
We'll
you
see how it
want?
goes.
Were you going to try to share? Or did you want me to do it? I don't know if I'm set.
Is it
Let's see if I can.
possible to share? Can I connect this StreamYard to another network and try to come in and share? Or
Oh, absolutely.
will it-
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. All you need to do is join that link from the other machine.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'll get you on
Okay,
here.
let's try it.
Cool.
All right, sounds good. In the meantime, chit chat about what you want to see, perhaps.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's open that up to the group here. Where's my mouse? I lost my mouse, Anne-Marie. There we go. Okay. First of all, a lot of hellos here for you. Awesome stuff. Guys, hey, Dan, good to see you. Hopefully you have hopefully you're doing well. What stocks would you like Anne-Marie to set up potential trades here? Are there any on the, I've got one. I've got, well, we had a couple of earnings, so maybe post earnings trades. I want to go to the group. What does the group want to see? CrowdStrike is getting suggested. I feel like we've done that several times. Adobe is getting suggested. I wonder how that option chain looks. SMTC is getting suggested. Do they even have an options chain?
Yeah, but it's very.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, very illiquid.
Affirm. Oh my gosh, what a great. Okay.
We had that strangled, didn't we?
On Affirm? Or didn't we do that on Lulu? I don't know if we did that. I can't remember if we talked about Lulu on Tuesday or which stock. Anyway, Affirm would be a real good one because they just reported, or because they're ripping here today. They did just report. Didn't they report like 2 days ago? I am all types of mixed up right now, Anne-Marie. I'm sorry. I am letting you down here.
Oh, don't even worry about it. I think it was.
Yeah, it was the 28th.
Yeah, that's huge. And we had talked about that because of the strangle. And let me see if I see, and I know you've got probably two images of me, so I apologize.
No, you're
that.
good. I'm a seasoned vet here, Anne-Marie. We got this completely under control.
All right. Okay, let me see if I discussed Affirm in any fashion, because I did look at the strangle. We talked about it, and I looked at the strangle, and I thought, if you want to do that trade, butterflies didn't work, but holy cow, it really ran amok. I mean, what a move. Just shredding. Oh, that would have been a great trade, because you know what? We had that at, I think, 34 or 37, something like that. Oh, geez. I hate looking at that. That's pretty awful that I missed that. But we can do a post-earnings event. Let's see what the chains look like. You can see the chart, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did I see
it looks great. It looks great.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's expand this and let's see. The ATR is 5 and the true range is almost 3x of the ATR. So option buyers certainly did win. From a weekly perspective, we have to figure out if this move is shorts running for the hills or new longs getting in play. And I am going to wager that it is shorts running for the hills. So the question is now, in this kind of formation, oops, not there.
So really quick, just to kind of steel man your point there about Affirm, on its short interest, here is the most recent read that we have here, Anne-Marie, and this is as of the 26th of August. Okay, so this is 4 days old. 11% of its float shorted, 4 days to cover. So
whoa.
That is pretty high. I generally like to see more than 5 days to cover on that short interest, but with 11% of the entire float shorted, that's still pretty sizable. I think I got to agree with you. I got to agree with you here.
So my suspicion is, as always, when you're looking at a market like this, there's always going to be a group of big money traders that are going to use gigantic moves up to liquidate. And so the first thing you have to think about is this a move that is telling me it's got continuation? And I'm going to say right off the bat, no cigarro. It is definitely not. One reason is the momentum. You can see the stochastic momentum. Actually, it's double smooth stochastic, but it's red down there with the TTM squeeze. And all of that is pushing up against direction. And so my suspicion is, based on the 11% float that you just said, what we have is price action that is going to meet up with liquidation. And so the next question is, well, is there a short here? And I would say yes, but how far it might go is, another question indeed. If it's got 4 days to cover and we're moving at the speed that we're moving, we're fairly close to the top. So let's see what kind of cash they're giving us here. Let me change the setup so it's just maybe a little bit bigger. All right.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And let's look at October. So if we look at the October 50 call spread, we've got ourselves, that's not bad. I mean, it's 20% of the spread. If we looked at the puts, I would say it's probably better to double up on the short call side than on the put side, because if this rotates, this range that we're moving from top to bottom is 24 to literally 50. If we divide it in half, that's 12.5 per se. And so 12.5 would bring us, back down to maybe 36, 37 from the top of the range. And that doesn't give us very much premium. Well, I don't know. We could go to 37.50 to 32.50. No, it really doesn't give us enough to put it into an iron condor, right? The risk on the put side being what it is, it's only giving us about 80 cents on a spread that's $5 wide. And you want to get at least 20% of a short spread. You want to at least to be worth the risk, right? You want to be able to risk 8 to make 2, assuming you bought 2 of these, right? And you could make $2 as opposed to, having a risk of 8 opening on a $10 wide spread, which is the same as a $5 spread, but you take it twice. Now, why wouldn't you just take a $10 spread? Let me show you something. I want to remind folks of this. Let's say I said to you, hey, listen, consider taking 2 of these. And that way you get $200 credit. You want to go for about 50%. So you get about $1 out of it, which is a great return, slow and steady motion. The question might be, well, what if I don't want to pay all those premiums to my broker? Why not just do 150, 60, right? Look, a 150 to 60 spread is going to give you $1.71. But two 50 to 55s, which open up the same risk as a 50 to 60, will give you 20% more. I'll get $2.18. Right?
Interesting.
Actually, that's about 30% more.
Yeah. A
Right?
little bit higher.
So what you want to do is tighten the spread and just buy more of them. Don't widen the spread because you're going to get less premium. And so that's a little handy dandy trick.
That's a little pro tip to start us off, Anne Marie. I like it.
Yeah, so that is something that I like to do in general. Now, there are folks that will argue against that. And what they'll argue is, I hear what you're saying, but my theta erosion ends up being much more dramatic if price falls off a cliff, because the one that I bought is very far away.
Mhm.
That's true, but the one that we sold is the same. So you can have a two-way argument that way, but for me, it's all about what's the most premium I can get for the same risk. And
Okay.
it's selling the tighter option spreads. Okay, now the flip side of that, very quickly, is if I were buying these spreads, right, I would end up making less money because I'm paying more for the tighter spreads. What I would want to do if I were saying, hey, listen, I want to buy this move, I can buy a $10 move, it will cost me less. If I buy a $10 move here, it'll cost me $2.21. If I buy a $10 move here, it costs me $1.70.
Okay.
All right. So just a little bit of that sort of thing if you're going long versus short. There's so many, imagine, I don't know if you've ever seen one of those giant accordions. They play in, not accordions, organs. They play accordions in those great big basilicas or those fancy old museums. They have like 52 racks of knobs and pulls and that sort of thing. That's the options market. There's always a little something to learn. You can work your entire life in the option chains and you'll still be learning every single day.
I learn literally every day we go on this. I learn something else. So I'm with you there. Whether it's simple or an important pro tip like that, I'm learning something every time. So
all right, awesome.
Want to do another one here?
Absolutely.
So the ones that were suggested earlier, Affirm, that was one, Ulta was one, Broadcom was one, Target was one, Lilly was one. So we've got a choice here, it looks like.
Okay,
I can run through those again anytime.
Quick note, if you are in Benzinga Pro, today we're going to pull off our Eli Lilly put. We're going to take a look. Hopefully Netflix comes in and we'll be able to take off the call butterfly there. We took off the Target call butterfly yesterday for some gains. So all of that's going around. Let's have a peek at Ulta because it's not one that I have stared down. So I think everybody was chasing Ulta because Warren Buffett got into it, right? He sold some Apple, he bought some Ulta. For those of us gentlemen or ladies that are not very frou-frou, Ulta is like a cornucopia of women testing makeup and lotions and potions, right? And so they've done a fair bit to bring in all different tiers of pricing, but they did disappoint in general simply because maybe the market was just looking for more. So from a general space, it gapped down from the earnings. Take a gander at this, folks. I want to show you something. Never think that pricing is arbitrary in the land of big money. It is so carefully machined. Here is the distance between the high of this gap and the low of this gap. And this 38.2, 61.8 retracement, spot on, almost to the tick. Also, this stock is very, very gappy. So what could happen? Well, right now we're in no man's land. We essentially could have a rally straight back up into the top of the range at around 380, or we could complete the heavy congestion event and come down into 325. So there's motion to be here. The ATR 13, the range, almost twice that. So it's 2x of the range. Currently, it's gapped down from that earnings and now moving to the upside. I think it's a great place for a butterfly. Let's see what the earnings environment, what the chains give us. Let's go to October.
And really quick, I got to highlight this one, especially because it's from Amanda. Amanda, were you referring to Ulta as the girls' Costco?
Yes.
That's the first,
that's
the first
awesome.
time I've heard that. That's the first time I've heard that. I'm absolutely going to cut and paste that and continue to use that going forward. So that's pretty awesome. Sorry to break the train of thought there.
Totally agree. All right. So we've got the 325, 315, 305. That's 45 cents. And what is that? That is that's almost $30 away. I don't know that that gives us enough time. Let me go back and look at this chart. 320. Let's make 340 the spread here. We'll start with 340. We'll go to 330. And then 340. Whoa, very expensive.
Whoa, yeah.
Am I doing that? No, that's the wrong way. 320. What a knucklehead.
That's 340, 330, 340 there. So
yes,
there we go. There we go.
330, 320. 75 cents. And it's sitting well within the range of the expected move. The middle strike is what we want to be after. Okay. So, and that's that 330. Let's take a look at the chart again. Middle strike. Let's try 365 to 375 to 385. 365. That's a little close. Maybe 370. 15. 370. What's the volume? The volume is a little bit light, so leave it in the queue. 370 to 380 to 390. Looks like it's about $1.70, somewhere around there for, $170 for potential $830 to the upside. Yeah, that's fair. Now, here's what you want to do. Again, remember, when you're looking at this, you want to set an alert for places that look like it's going to go in your direction or against your direction. So my thought would be create a drawing event that gives you above that 360-ish area, and it'll put you right in that framework that says, ooh, it's coming into the range. All right. So that being said, that's it. I wondered if you wanted to do a post analysis on NVIDIA,
Sure.
or
Absolutely.
what we talked about and why it's important to think about both sides of a butterfly when you are positioning for something. Yesterday, we took the call side of the butterfly off. We had the 1020, 1030, excuse me, the 120, 130, 140. I saw it struggling up at the 121. I said, hey, listen, let's take it off. Let's see what kind of downside pressure events we have. And now we have this 80, 70, 60. I don't think it gets anywhere near there. I have this as a long-term position, the 110, 130, 150s. We don't want to talk about that. We also had the 130, 140, 150 calls. And then, of course, we had the 120, 130, 140 calls. And then the big one for folks who were saying, hey, listen, I thought about, here's what happens with the great big moves up. We had the one, what do we, 140, 150, 160.
Okay, I thought it was
that's what we
150, 160, 170. I
One
thought.
step. That might have been it. That
Check.
might have been
Check
it.
real quick for you.
I
I
do
can
certainly
confirm.
forget. Here's the bottom line. One of the ones we had was the golly, we just sold it. What is it? Closing trade. Let me peek at that. The call spread that we sold was the 120, 130, 140. Now we have the 80, 70, 60, but we also have the 110. And let's see what that pricing is like. Let's see if it's still available for us to do from a continuation perspective. 110, 100. Oh, good heavens. And then 90. Let's see if it's still maybe pricing. No, it's a little bit more expensive right now. So this one is still holding on. But a lot of us maybe didn't take it because we went, you know what, I'm just going to be bullish on NVIDIA. So the takeaway is the following. We did have the 150, 160 all the way out in October. So let's see what that is playing out right now.
Yeah, so I looked those up here real quick, Anne-Marie. The one that was in October was 150, 160, 170. That was that upside butterfly. The other one that it looked like you had on was one that you actually closed for, looks like this was 30+%. That was the 130, 140, 150 September.
Gotcha.
Call.
And then we had also, oh, that was on the 13th. Never mind.
And then you had this one that was 145%. This was 120, 130, 140.
Yes.
Calls on NVIDIA. Okay. So we cleaned all that up there.
70. All right. Here we go. So this one, I think it was like 65 cents, but now it's 27 cents. So you can see a very big move happened, but there's still 30% of the value sitting here. If that had had a tighter expiration, it'd be worth zero. And so that's one of the reasons that if you take something that's got outside pressure events, you'll be in better shape if you give it further out on the horizon. So here's something else that you can do. If you're willing to expose yourself to the risk of a larger expansion, you can easily say, you know what, that thing's going to erode into nothing. I'm going to sell the top, the 50, 60. Oops. Sorry. That's the 160, the 150. Nope, that's not going to give us very much, is it? If you wanted to recover everything and then still be exposed to some measure of risk, you could close that 50 to 60 and get 50 cents back. And instead you just lose, maybe 15 cents of how much you had the spread. But now you have a margin requirement that's the distance between $150 and $160. So in the grand scheme of things, I'd say, wait a minute, you have no idea what's going on, or say to yourself, I'm going to, let's say you bought 3 of them, say, I'm going to cover 2 of these and I'm going to leave one on for a lotto and see if it comes back. And that's really, because we have so much intraday volatility, I got to tell you, the one thing that's telling me we're going to start to flatten out, but not change intraday. Intraday is still going to go like this. But what's telling me we're going to flatten out a little bit is the VVIX. And I want to show this to you because I kind of harp on this all the time. It was sitting above 100 for a fair bit of time, a couple of weeks, easy. Starting 2-3 days ago, it bounced and then absolutely collapsed. And so now it's sitting at frontline support. If it fades, we are very likely to have a move back into the 80-ish level. That's going to give gamma another flip, because right now gamma is still in negative structure. So it still says, hey, listen, I've got downside motion for you. So that downside motion from gamma is going to disappear if the VIX closes, if the VVIX closes under 93 for the week, because we're going to start the brand new month of September. So we've got a week close, a month close. And all of that is saying to me, you know what, we could have ourselves a fair bit of sideways motion. Anyways, do we have time for...
We got under 2 minutes. I don't really think that we do. I'm sorry about that.
No worries. No worries at all. So if you're thinking about the market and you're getting back to where you're going, here's what I would like to say. Intel is moving like a house of fire. What was the news in there?
They here, I actually had that. We talked about that here this morning. Let me pull it up and I'll read it to you. Intel news. Intel shares trading higher following a report suggesting the company is weighing options, including splitting its product design and manufacturing businesses. So it looks like they're splitting off different parts of the business. One of the other things that we said we were going to wait for here is a possible CEO change. We haven't heard anything on that yet, but that's what's going on there with Intel.
Okay. All right. The key thing today, folks, is to remember that it is the end of the month. And at the end of the month in a trading formation, end of the trading month, we're very likely to have whipsaws. So whatever you're looking at, pick the trend. Make sure you've got a trend going in one way or another, and wait for your resistance to go short or wait for your deep support to go long.
Okay. Awesome. Anne-Marie. Oh, look at Zunaid. Look at that timing, Zunaid.
Yeah, I stalk you guys. I watch the show. Like I said, I told you yesterday I watched the show. Appreciate
That's a good thing. That's always a good thing.
Anne-Marie, how are you? Doing all right? Any fun plans for Labor Day weekend?
I didn't even ask her that. Good
Man,
call.
you know what? I'm going to be staring down the back of my eyelids.
Nice. It's very important to rejuvenate in that manner.
Yeah, it's been hectic last few days.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, hopefully,
hopefully everything's going well. You're right. Sorry about that.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, take care, guys. I love spending time with you. I really do. It's always fun.
We love hanging out with you. Love your trade ideas as well. Ryan, see you next time. Anne-Marie, we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next week. Have a good weekend.
Take care. All right, chat. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the trade ideas and the, conversations when it comes to options trading. And we know that you guys love to trade options. So we went ahead and we have another option segment for you here. This time it's options trading made simple with Sandy. Sandy, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to rock, and we will get you on. How's it going? How's your week been?
Good, good. You doing any special plans for the weekend?
You know, I have my cousin in town, and this is so cool. So I'm not a father by any means, but he is about maybe 22 years old, and he will send me his gains, aka not money gains, but like he's in the gym. He's like a scrawny kid, so he's been bulking up a little bit, working out, and so he's been doing all that. So being an older brother to him, we hit the gym sometimes, we play pickleball, and now he's getting credit cards. So I'm helping him figure out, hey, here's a credit card you should buy. Here are the perks. Here's what your salary is. Here's how you should do this. So to answer your question, I'm not doing anything fun in terms of like extravagant, but that type of stuff makes me happy because I know about a thing or two about credit cards and points. You know what I mean? So it's fun.
Nice
what about
mentorship.
You? Yeah. What about you?
Oh, just probably going to hit a couple wineries. There's a country band playing out here, so we're going to maybe do that. And of course, a barbecue. So yeah, it'll be nice just to hang out.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, here we go. This is Options Trading Made Simple with Sandy.
Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fit-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? All right. So let's talk charts. And if you guys are interested in giving me some chart requests, that'd be great. I'd love to go over a couple different charts for you. You could see that SPX, by the way, on a 15-minute time frame, we just filled that gap that we had. Real bullish this morning, topped out, and boom. So now, is it going to be a gap and go? Or are we going to now hit support and bounce and go the direction that we were going? So those are the two choices, right? So oftentimes a lot of people really like to play the gap. And so I really like this strategy too, because it really enables you to take advantage of some pretty big moves. So if you can see that, we gap up and then we're starting to top out. And as soon as it starts breaking that 20 or, maybe an EMA crossing that you have on your chart, as soon as it starts breaking that support that the gap actually creates, right? So that gap creates a really strong support. And as soon as price starts to break that gap, then you can play that to the downside. So we are getting over to basically support here at the bottom of the gap, right? So as we look at that, we'll see if it ends up bouncing while we're talking. But last week, we ended up looking over at BABA. And BABA at the time was actually, let's take a look at this on a day chart. BABA was actually at the time looking really bullish. It looked like, hey, there could be some further continuation. But look what ended up happening. Huge gap down on Monday. And this was our weekly expected move right here. So I was looking for a break above and staying above point of control, which would have been that 85.29 that we talked about. And then if we were to break above that, we would head up here. Unfortunately, we had a huge gap down, and look where it's been staying. So instead, it ended up going below the weekly expected move, staying below it for the last 4 days. And now on Friday, with that gap up that we all experienced this morning, got back into its range 68% of the time. We close within our expected move. And so it ends up being right there, right at 83. It looks like it may close below it. And so now next week, this is the expected move. We were also looking, so that was a loser, by the way. A great, what I like to do with debit spreads is just to put a 50% stop loss on it and a 50% profit. It's a real easy way that you can utilize an OCO just to automate your order so you don't even have to think about it. And I do like that percentage for profits for debit spreads because it just makes it real easy. And 50% of that debit spread, depending on how many contracts you had, would have been a nice, take home. So unfortunately, it didn't work out this time, but there's always next time. So Tesla, we were looking at Tesla. This was actually our first ticker that we were looking on possibly doing a debit spread as well. So here was Friday's action right here that we were on.
and it was just starting to look bearish. You know, what we should have did is just take Tesla to the downside, but we didn't. And that's exactly what happened, along with the rest of the market, by the way, right, on Monday. And you can see that it's been struggling, just struggling. And now there's this long running channel. And you can tell that it's just been really struggling to try to get above that channel to start making higher highs. So this actually is looking a little bearish as we stay underneath here. On a daily, we're underneath the 20. I still have a shorter time frame on there that I use for my automations. Let me get that off of there real quick. Here we go. And so while we're underneath the 20, it's still bearish to me. You can see momentum on a daily chart. But we're still kind of hovering kind of close to the zero line. You know, to me, this is just a lot of consolidation this entire week. It will get a trend change if we can break above that 20, and that 20 has such nice confluence with that existing vertical trend line there. So looking for Tesla really to kind of stay above that 209.89 area next week to see. So 209.89, and can you wait until Monday? Absolutely, you can. So let's start taking a look at the indices here. Wow. So on a daily, look at what SPX is doing. Just, you know, kind of going sideways, just consolidating for the last 2 weeks. Really looking here to see if we make a move or not. Great for premium sellers that want to do 0 DTE SPX trades, right? But as far as some market movers, you know, look at SPX bouncing right at that trend line. It filled the gap with a wick right here on this last 5-minute candle. We'll see if all of a sudden that ends up being support and we start turning bullish again, right? We filled the gap, and now that could offer support and we could be off to the races again. We were having such a nice morning this morning until that gap fill. But we often fill that gap. So it's always nice to have a visual on your chart because, you know, a lot of people will take their profits the next day when there's a gap. And the reason is because oftentimes we do a gap fill. So knowing this could help you strategize, right? If you're in calls, then you definitely want to take some profit. If you have puts as an example and we gap up, you want to wait because there is a good chance that we fill the gap. And by waiting, your positioning on a put will be better down here than it would have been up here. So oftentimes, but usually, you know, that gap fill typically happens within the first 15 minutes. You could see how long it took, right? Several hours before we actually filled that gap. Now we're going into 1140 here, and we're at the base. So this is acting as support. So we'll take a look at, so we have consolidation, lots of consolidation on SPX. If I look at SPY, you know, the key level on here, and you could see from a long time ago, this high is really holding 565 as resistance, but really, you know, we keep rejecting off of 562. And I was checking dark pools. I'm not sure if you guys use like option flow or dark pools, but it acts as support and resistance, just like gamma and JEX. If you've never heard of gamma and JEX, it's really all about, and this is different from the gamma that everyone talks about in the Greeks. So gamma and JEX is really about the market makers that take in all the money from all the institutions and have to hedge their positions. And so while doing that, they end up creating support and resistance, right? Because they have to stay delta neutral. And so this is really kind of a key way that people like to look at the market and say, okay, where are the market makers hedging their positions? And those levels end up being support and resistance. And that's without even looking at a chart. You could do this for every single ticker. And so people look at dark pools in the same way. So they look to see where the dark pool levels are, and that acts as support and resistance. And right now I was checking with SPY earlier today, and SPY's got a dark pool right at 562. And so that's actually holding as resistance, right? So until SPY can break above 562, it is really kind of in this range that we keep kind of going sideways in, right? So looking for a breakout of 562 for continuation of bullishness, basically risk off below it. And then let's take a look at the Qs. The Qs here, again, too, a lot of consolidation, had pretty much a down week here. That NVIDIA earnings, even though it seems so promising, right? People really hyped that up like it was going to do something for the market. In fact, I think I read like several articles that said, everybody's just waiting, the market's waiting on NVIDIA. Well, NVIDIA came out and didn't do much for the market. So we might be right back into seasonality, right? Because when you look at IWM as an example, IWM this week was actually looking pretty good while on the down days of SPY and QQQ. SPY and QQQ were going sideways on a couple of days, and we had some nice breakouts on IWM and DIA. So I look forward to seeing what the service sectors are going to be doing for us in the next coming months. But keep an eye on those. We used to call IWM because of its heavy weighted in transportation and railroad. And that's really all about, what the economy is doing. We used to call it the canary in the coal mine. So looking to see if we can, and you could see this was last week, we broke above. And now here we are this week. We did break above it, but now we're actually below our point of control for the week, staying on the lower end, aren't we? So almost feeling like we're just kind of topping out in that, maybe we don't have enough juice to get to the next level, but we'll just have to see. You can see that momentum on IWM is still very positive on a daily. As long as we stay above that zero line, we have an opportunity to break out. Could just be a long period of consolidation. So waiting to see on that consolidation whether we break out or not. IWM really needs to stay above 218.25 next week. You can see that we're right there, 218.33. It'll depend on where we close. If we open up on Monday and we could break above where we close today, then we have an opportunity to get to the weekly expected move on the high end. And that's really what ends up happening. You can see here on the previous Friday, we got above that point of control, but as soon as we broke it, we stayed below it, almost touching that weekly expected move to the downside, but not much, and then it popped back up. So really looking to see if we stay above there for a continuation. Let's look at some stocks that everybody likes to kind of keep track of. Let me get rid of this here. Hold dry. So unfortunately here on a daily, you could see that momentum is low. And you can also see that we're underneath the 20, right? Underneath the 20 and momentum under zero, it's just kind of bearish, but waiting for something to happen here with Microsoft. Look at how long it's been consolidating. This consolidation, right? What happens during consolidation? We either accumulate, start heading higher, or we distribute and start heading lower. So really looking for either a breakout or a breakdown. And you can see the levels of consolidation here on Darvis. 426.88, we could just call that 427 on Microsoft for a break above, or on a daily 407, which is kind of a range down there. Let's go to a smaller time chart. Oh, on an hourly, we're above on an hourly, which I like. Let me see what we're doing on a 15. I really like being above the 20 on an hourly, as well as being above the zero line on a 15. So the 15 and the 20, if we're able, on a 15-minute chart and a 1-hour chart, if we could stay above the 20 EMA and then also have positive momentum, that's typically good for a short swing trade. So coming back to Microsoft here, it's just not there yet. And we don't actually have to go bullish. Looks like Apple wow, look at that gap up. That looked lovely. Gave it all back here. Almost did a 50%. Is that about a 50% gap fill? It's not quite done yet. Momentum is still low on a 15-minute. Still working that out on for today. but it looks like a lot of consolidation. Also waiting for a breakout. And momentum still high, retreating a bit today, like all the stocks are after filling or attempting to fill their gaps. So Apple looking interesting. Apple looking for 233 to really, and you see the last pivot high here at 232.92. So if we can break above that, which is 233, we could get to the higher level. And by the way, if we break below the last pivot low, as an example, on a 15-minute chart is great, 225.69, we can make that 225 thereabouts. If we can break below there, that's a really good short as well. So you could utilize those pivot points as an example to help you create some automations on your own. If you've never tried it, please try it and let me know your experience. I would love to see that happen. NVIDIA, so had a lot of unusual whale activity today for NVIDIA for 125 calls, but I just don't see it happening. Not right now, anyway. So they could be seeing something and looking for a nice break. Let's take a look at an hourly again. Momentum's still low. And let's take a look at a daily. Yeah, this actually breaking below that weekly expected move. That weekly expected move on NVIDIA is 120.77. And the fact that we broke below it and we're still below it, it means really that we're going to be looking bearish on NVIDIA for next week unless it pops above that 20 and there's a trend change. I'm looking for 120.75. Yeah, at least 121 before going long on NVIDIA. This actually looks more of a short here, to be honest with you. Really liking this trade for a short. All right, let's take a look at some more charts. I'm going to put a star on that one. Let's take a look at Google. We've just been going back and forth during this consolidation. Lots of volatility in the market during that time period too. So on an hourly, a bit bearish. On a 15, not so bad. Needing to get above that 163.21, make it 163.25 thereabouts. Possibly for a trend change here. But you can see where the last pivot high and low is. And so why is the pivot so important? The pivots identify like higher highs, right? Or lower lows. And so when we talk about a trend as an example, that's really what we're utilizing is the last pivot high and the last pivot low. And so those tend to create those trends, whether we're trending higher or we're trending lower. And so I really like using those as support and resistance for whichever time frame that I'm trading on. And so for a short swing, as an example, I'm using a 15 as well as a 1 hour. And you can see on a 1 hour, we actually broke below the last pivot low. So really a good short. And look at where the 20 is, like right there. That's really why I like using that 20 EMA. Every time I look at it, and when we talk about confluence and just other indicators that offer support for your thesis or invalidates your thesis, I look at that 20 all the time and I just laugh because it always lines up with other confirmation levels. And what really is that? It's just, supporting evidence, right? Based on your thesis. So as far as I'm concerned, Google still is short underneath that hourly 20 and still is short underneath that one. So we'll see if it can actually break above that 163.17. As of right now, it's just trading in its trend. It did get above the 15, still below on a 1 hourly. Not really liking that for anything of the long, to be quite honest with you. Let's take a look at Meta. Let's see here. Consolidation like everything. Really kind of had a down week here on Meta, but actually holding the 20. You see that? Momentum on a daily is pointing down. I wonder if it can get some traction here. Even on an hourly, it's down. We're underneath the 20. Oh boy, even on a 15, we are underneath. The saving grace here is we already filled that gap from yesterday, and that actually looks like it's holding. This looks like a double bottom on a 15. Looking for a trend change here, and you can see, by the way, as I just switch off, you could see the momentum here, even though it's still bearish, right? We have a double bottom here. This could be interesting if it can pop above. So we'll take a look at that a little later. That doesn't, everything really kind of looking a little bearish, guys. And it's funny how everything could be so positive this morning and then just turn out so bearish this afternoon, right? Because it filled that gap. This actually looks promising for support here on DIA. DIA doing a double bottom from yesterday as well. This could be nice. Momentum looks weak, though, I have to say. That's on a 15. It's still weak. On an hourly, still weak. And right now on an hourly, it's below that 20. Everything looking a bit bearish. So the one that I was actually looking at was NVIDIA. Do you think that those unusual whales know something that we don't know? Do they know something that we don't know? This could be a double bottom too from yesterday. Still looking pretty weak here. Yeah, I kind of like NVIDIA for a short, to be honest with you. So I'm actually gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm gonna take a trade on. Let me take a look at the 15 here. Okay, so we did a double bottom on the 15. It looks more promising here. We did a double bottom here on a 15. We filled the gap, and now we're breaking above. Momentum is higher than it was when we first hit the double bottom, or our first bottom here. You could see how low momentum was. And look at on this double bottom situation, momentum is much higher. This could do a trend change here. I'd love to see it above that 20 before I get involved. Let's take a look at it on a 5. Oh boy. On a daily, this just really looks bearish. I'm taking it for a, I'm going to take it for a bearish trade on NVIDIA. Let's do the vertical. Let's see, we're at 117, 118. So you can see right here, this is 45, 46 cents. And really what we want is NVIDIA to stay underneath, right? 117 basically. And we can start to create some income. If we take a look at it on a analyze graph, you could see that we're right here. And really we're wanting NVIDIA to move past that 117.55 area. And as we do, you can look right over here. As we do, you can start seeing that this could start creating some income. So this is what I like. And I do like the 50% profit and loss. If you have more than one contract on, what you can do is basically just start, peeling. You get to the 50%, you peel off a couple contracts, get to 75%, peel off a couple contracts, and so forth and so on. Maybe leave one as a runner for next Friday as an example. But we have had a lot of volatility. If you don't like to trade in volatility, we keep having bounces. We're really just going sideways for most of the time in a lot of our stocks and indices. And so this one actually looks good. I really like this trade. So I'm going to go ahead and send this in. And I got my contracts. And really looking for us, right, to continue with the momentum on the downside. Here, looks like we got, that's a ways away though. And so really, it's going to be a do or die situation, looking for this to actually break below I'm actually front running this is what I'm doing. I typically don't, but I can see on a daily this kind of looks weak. And so because of that, I'm just going to go with my thesis on this. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, no worries. You can always start peeling contracts off if you think your thesis is wrong or the evidence along the way starts changing, right? You don't have to be married to these positions. You don't have to hold on for dear life. You can actually change your mind and get on the right side of things. All right, guys, any questions right now? Let me take a look. Well, you know, Elon, this is my perspective. As long as we're underneath that daily 20, still acts as resistance. Looks like you had a pretty good run there. Looks like we had a topping pattern. We jumped below that 20 EMA that's on my chart, and doesn't necessarily mean it's going to hold up as still being bearish. But as of right now, little bearish looking on NVIDIA. Multiple 15K lots popping up on Dell. You know, I did see some, let's take a look at that. I did see option flow on Dell. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it looks like they had some good earnings. And wow, nice little pump on it. You can see that on a daily. Look at this big engulfing candle right here on an hourly. Man, that looks lovely. Institutions getting involved. Oh, nice. Breaking above Darvis right here at 115.37. You can use 115.30 as an example as support here on Dell. I like it. You could see that it already hit average to range target to take profit at 115.16. The next target here is at 116.54 and looking really nice for Dell. Thank you for that. Look-see. Came and retest the 20 on an hourly. Look at this big engulfing candle. Super bullish here looking for a Dell. I really actually like this look for after its earnings. We just broke above today's high. That is a trading strategy, guys. 115.38, breaking above today's high means that it's going higher. The trend is going higher. And we also broke on a 30-minute the pivot high of 114.20. You could use either of those levels, by the way, as support. And then if you're looking short term here, really need to get above. You see this, see the last pivot high here. You see this trend line that's going up. I love those vertical trend lines. If we can get above target 3, that would be wonderful. But usually there's a pullback right at around 3 targets, especially on a 5-minute. So looking to get above 117 for Dell for more upside. You could see that we're just slowing down just a little bit on a topping pattern here. So as long as this level, in fact, if it comes to retest this on a 5-minute, great little day trade. If it doesn't break below that 115.30, 115.30 can be your support, and it's a great R&R. Why? Because we broke above a resistance. We're coming to retest it like right now as we speak. This still could end up being a very good day trade and good R&R right here at 115.36. Make it 115.30. Give it a little bit of room to breathe. 115.30 right there. If it doesn't go below it, then you're still looking for some upside possibility up to 117. And if it goes below it, then you just cut it because you recognize your risk there. Because once it, goes below that 115.34, it could come back and retest that 20. That's its mean, so to speak, right? Reversion to the mean. So that's what I say for Dell. Nice call out. Thank you so much for that. Oh, wait a minute here. Nice one little candle bar here. And the next candle opening up kind of away from it. If it lays on it, it's a fake out zone. So just be aware of that. So you want to wait for the actual next candle now. Let this candle for the 5-minute just kind of do its thing. and then see where it lies. If it's still laying on top of that pivot high, it's still kind of a fake out, no real confirmation. You're really looking for a single candle on a 5-minute for a day trade to either be above it or below it by itself, independent, right? That's how you can get yourself out of those fake outs, at least 60% of them. All right. Zune, do I still have more time? I can't hear you.
You know, sometimes I wonder why I put myself on mute, but then I realize why. Now, I was going to say, if you've got another sick trade idea, you're welcome to go over it. But if not, we always appreciate your insights on what you've provided.
Well, thank you. You know, I got a coaching appointment in about 15 minutes, so I got to run. But guys,
tell the
if
folks where
you
they can find
want to
you,
check out, tradingmadesimple.org. I also have a YouTube channel, Trading Made Simple with Sandra, and YouTube options_Sandy with a Y.
All right. Appreciate you. And I'm going to go ahead and put your link in the chat here as well. Thank you so much
thanks.
for your time. I greatly appreciate it. Good luck on the coaching call.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. See
Take
you next
care.
week. Bye-bye.
Bye.